idea for all this really came from a dream?
Yes, it did.
Good evening and welcome to Nox Mente. Tonight's guest is Alex Stein. Alex was on our Obelisk show a month or so ago, and he's the host of Conspiracy Castle YouTube channel. Pretty cool stuff. You should check it out. Alex, welcome to the show.
Jerry, I appreciate that long bio.
That
Please,
was
next
huge.
time,
It was huge.
don't. I mean, don't. That was a little too long. I mean, give the people at home a break. They need that exit music, like the Academy Awards. You were going so long.
You know, if you'd provided me with a longer one, I would totally have read it.
Well, there's not much to say, other than the Conspiracy Castle and that I'm a total freakazoid trying to expose the Illuminati and these, fundamental lies they have us under. Other than that, just a regular old average Joe.
But I love your superhero mask.
I
know, it's funny.
The ball
the
gag
cat,
myself.
well, and the cat, the freaking cat chewed up the other one. So I just realized that I just had to order one on Amazon because you said you like that mask. And then a friend of mine today said, Alex, you have to go into another store and do a sequel with that same mask. And so I said, you know what? I thought that was a one-trick pony. I thought I was a one-hit wonder. I would never go back to it. But just like an old rock and roll star, you got to go back to your greatest hits. So I just ordered a 2-pack of those masks. And I'm going to go probably one of these as soon as it gets here on Amazon Prime, either tomorrow or the next day. I'm probably going to go into some Walmart, go to some stores and try to get confronted with that stupid mask on and look like a stupid idiot and try to make some content and try to make some people happy at home.
You know,
Alex, you're developing into like a superhero.
with the mask.
Oh, yeah, the farthest a super villain.
You know what's even funnier though is that when you originally did that, which was like 2 months ago, maybe a little longer,
Mm-hmm.
the mask shit has heated up 1,000 times since then.
I think this is nearly 4 months ago, 3 months ago,
Yeah,
actually.
it's a
About
while.
yeah. Oh, dude, the mask thing is going crazy. So there's the only stores I've been able to go into is the stores where they know me at, like this Dollar General that they just know me because I used to go there a lot. Then I just don't care because they're more worried about shoplifters and stuff. So I'm talking to the guy today, and I'm like, and this is at the Dollar General. This is like in the kind of the ghetto part, and I live in a nice neighborhood, but so I kind of go across the Inwood Road and I go to this place because they're cool about the mask. And I'm talking to the guy, and he's like, yeah, at the Maple location, the manager got beat up for asking a guy to wear a mask. I know, but I'm saying it's not even funny because I know them there, and I know you're laughing, Jerry, because it is funny. But so I know the manager, and I can tell like the manager is all tripped out, and he was like, yeah, I would never bug people about the mask because of that. But he's like, first of all, it was a woman, and then there's a guy hitting him. But that's where we're at. It's not about the act. It's like, Jerry, why are we so tense about it? Like, why are even people enforcing the mask? Why are we still making essential workers, the lowest level workers, the people that are making minimum wage, that are basically police officers enforcing these mask policies? I mean, it's absolutely insane, the responsibility.
It's fear and mind control. That's all.
Well, it is.
Hasidic Jews are not having it.
No, they're not.
No, they're not. And they're awesome. I love those guys. Good for them. They were burning the mask. But see, that just shows you. I mean, that was awesome. Those good guys burning the mask. But I think those guys were going to vote for Trump anyway. So that's probably why that's why they don't like those Hasidic Jews. I don't think. I think there's a little more to that. It's because he knows that Trump supports Israel, and so he in Cuomo and De Blasio. That's why they're purposely persecuting those Jewish guys, in my opinion.
Yeah, but you don't push them around. Period. They're like
no,
they will come out.
They're hardcore. They have their own police force. They do a bunch of freaking crazy stuff. They got no rules. Those guys are intense.
Did you hear them singing as they ran around the fire? Have no mask for me,
Is that what they were saying?
No.
But they were singing and dancing. Why? They were singing and dancing, Jerry. Though why they were trying to like round them up? They were still laughing and dancing.
Oh yeah, well, gotta have a good time when you're fucking the government over.
What's Sukkot all about? You guys know?
What's what all about?
They're the reason they're celebrating is there's a thing called a holiday Sukkot.
That's today.
Yeah, and so I guess I don't know enough about it.
Probably the end of Yom Kippur.
Yeah, but like part of the holidays that is a celebration of gathering. So that's like the opposite of what we're supposed to be doing now. It's literally like a celebration of gathering. I think that's like one of the ethos of it. is to gather, and so them not making them try to social distance, it goes against their whole religion, basically.
Oh, it kind of goes against the whole First
It'd be like
Amendment
saying
too.
don't sing, and you're not allowed to sing, because of COVID. And there's churches that do that. There's in California, they said that there's churches that are
Yeah.
allowed to open but no singing.
California, you have to take your mask on and off between bites now. So,
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Sukkot is the 7 days of Sukkot, celebrated by dwelling in the sukkah, taking the 4 kinds and rejoicing. Is the holiday which we expose ourselves to the elements in covered huts, commemorating our gods sheltering our ancestors as they traveled from Egypt to the Promised Land.
Well,
So it's a
I don't know
temple
no-
day.
I don't know enough about it to really comment.
Yeah,
I think it's like a family it's a family gathering.
there's
day
something
of
to do with
prayers
gathering
and all
part of
that.
it.
Yeah.
I swear there's something, because I read that in the Daily Mail, like in a
Well,
freaking boo-boo bad article about it.
every time, Jewish holidays end, except for Hanukkah, I think there's a Seder.
Yeah.
So it's
A
just,
celebration, yeah.
Yeah.
well, that's a meal. It's a gathering. I don't know.
With lots of prayers and there's all the ceremony is long.
Right, and the Hasids are Orthodox, so they're going to definitely be
Oh yeah.
celebrating all that. But I don't, I have Jewish people in my family, but they're not like super practicing, so I don't know.
Yeah, my grandfather and my dad didn't know. He got my grandmother pregnant when he was stationed here in Dallas, and my dad never knew him. And he started a family in New York without him, and he was Jewish. So I was raised Christian. My dad was too, but we weren't raised religious at all. So I don't know anything about
It goes down. It's matriarchal
with your
though,
mom.
so-
I know. That's why I'm
yeah.
technically not a Jew.
So you'd have to join.
And I had
Yeah,
read,
but I'm not. I mean, I consider myself a Christian, but what is a Christian? I mean, let's not
I had
be-
read
Yeah.
recently too that modern day Jewish people aren't technically Semitic. They're not descended from Semites, but the Palestinians are.
I was seeing that too, Jer. Although that's a hot topic.
Yeah, I don't want to dwell on
Yeah.
that. It's
yeah, I
dream
mean, we
night.
can get into that because they're freaking, taking credit for. It goes into what race is Jesus type territory.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
he's not white. Tear down every
No
Jesus
way.
statue.
No way he was white. No way.
No,
But I mean, and do we even know what Jesus was? And I like to tend to believe Jesus was real, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
it doesn't matter if he was real or not. It's just a story now, and it's in the narrative. It's part of the narrative.
Yeah.
It's
But what's real is Alex in a mask.
yes,
Well,
and a ball gag.
maybe
You should
not.
wear the ball
maybe
gag
CGI.
and the Lone Ranger mask at the same time in the Walmart.
Then they wouldn't even bug me. It'd be looking
I
like a
want to
normal
see
shopper.
you with the tights on too. I mean, you might as well just do it
Wait,
all
did you
up.
see Lana Del Rey doing the book signing with that
Yeah, with the mesh.
bedazzled
They
mask?
were,
You should wear that. Lana Del Rey can
What
wear
was
it.
she wearing?
they're
Lana Del
canceling
Rey?
her now.
Yeah,
They're
Google it.
canceling her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. Anyway, showtime.
Oh my gosh, she's so cool for doing that, and they freaked out at everybody.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
facing backlash.
huge.
Wow, how
Yeah,
did I
it's-
just see this?
It's huge. Because you're here hanging with us. We're here to help you, Alex.
I know. Wow, what a bull
Mhm.
crap. She's wearing like this mesh mask, and it's supposed to look funny, but you can breathe. And then she took a selfie with like another person that kind of had a similar mask on. That's kind of funny.
That was-
she's
that's
getting
Ricardo.
she's getting tons of slack because now she's blonde, and I've been seeing like tweets where, they're calling her Karen now and all that stuff. It's rough.
This is what pisses me off. Let me get this out of the way. All these people, these virtue signalers, are the same people that go to a restaurant and they make you wear a mask while you're being seated at your table. But as soon as you get to the table, you can take off the mask.
I
So in
know.
theory, the cross contamination is unreal. That's like having a peeing section in a public pool. It doesn't
Oh.
make sense. There's going to be, I mean, it doesn't. It's impossible. That doesn't make any sense, and that's why it's bullcrap. So these people are like, "Oh, it's about health." It has nothing to do with health. It has
Did you
nothing
see
to
that
do
It's
they
like
put-
Alec. It's like the old smoking section in the restaurant. There's nothing separating. It's just the line in the
Yes.
room.
Exactly. I mean, that's exactly what it is. It's like having a smoking section and then being in the non-smoking section. It's obviously
You're
gonna have
just
smoke.
across
I mean,
another
yeah.
booth.
That's exactly the thing. They put up these plexiglass barriers between the Pence and Harris tonight for the debate.
Yeah, that's on right now while we're doing this.
know.
Isn't that crazy? I don't care. I kind of rather watch I would be watching it live if I wasn't watching this, but I'm just gonna watch the highlights.
But they put these plexiglass barriers up that are like 6 by 3 feet, right? And these two people are seated at desks 10 feet away. That that stage is lit with all these spotlights, and there's tons of airflow in there, right? Those plexiglass barriers aren't stopping anything. And not only that, the guys putting them up weren't even wearing gloves.
No, of
Yeah.
course not.
Yeah, so it's like
you
pointless.
can riot.
for
I mean,
show.
peacefully protest. I mean, riot without any of this gear on, but you can't walk to the door from a door to the restaurant to your table.
Yeah, you can't get a 6-inch sub at Subway without a mask.
What'd
As
you say? You
long-
had me at 6-inch, Alex.
I know you're a size queen.
Yeah.
You know, as long as people keep putting up with this, it's going to continue. That's all I can say.
Yeah, and people
Yeah.
are going to continue. I made a video today. I posted on my Conspiracy Castle 2.0 channel of a guy, and he was ripping cigarettes, Newport cigarettes, smoking cigarettes, and then he put out a cigarette, and immediately put his mask on while he's fishing outside. And I walked up to him. I made just a short video. Hey, bud, how you doing? He's like, hey. And I go, so tell me, why are you wearing the mask outside? Don't you think that outside air is healthier than the air you're rebreathing with the mask? He's like, well, I never really thought about it. And I was like, well, if you care about your health, why are you smoking cigarettes and then putting on the mask
Yes.
immediately? And he's like, well, I never really thought about it like that. And it's just a funny video. It's only a minute long if you guys want to watch
The
it.
worst part about the mask thing is that when this is all over, there's going to be a percentage of people who feel naked without it. And they'll continue to wear it because it makes them feel safe. It's that whole
And people like the
safetyism.
accessory of it too. Like people
Yep,
like,
yep.
yeah, I mean, yeah.
It's going to suck.
But I don't mind if that is like, if we're a little, okay, the new normal.
If it's your choice, it's your choice. It's
Exactly.
Exactly.
See, the new normal is so screwed up. But as long as they don't make me wear one to the store, I don't care if everybody wears one. Honestly.
Yeah. You should be, if by the theory that's going around, you should be just fine. You should be protected if you've got your mask on. And
Trump's
it shouldn't
fine.
matter if I don't or do, right?
Even the CDC said 94% of the deaths had 2.6 pre-existing conditions when they died.
Listen, guys, my body, my choice.
Right.
Yeah,
Anyway,
well.
let's get the show going.
Okay.
I want to watch the debate.
Yeah, the debate is during the show.
Afterwards, I'll watch the replay.
All right. Anyway, all right, Alex, it's so good to have you back, baby.
Let's go. What are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about our dreams tonight, right?
Yeah, we're going to dig deep in. So let's go back to young baby Alex. All the way back. What are your earliest memories in this life?
You know, I was thinking about this the other day. And some of my earliest memories was like hanging out with my mom in a hair salon. And I remember my mom used to like carry me up there as a baby, and she would drink. And I think she would like do a little coke with the hairdressers up there. There's a hair salon like
This is the 80s, right?
Yeah, this is like 88. I was born in 86. So yeah, my mom used to, we're right near Lover's Lane. This is a really busy street in Dallas, like a really popular street. And I remember a hair salon. Some of my first memories was being at a hair salon. I just remember the hair salon crap. You know, that's what I remember. And I know like I had like maybe she was doing narcotics. I know she was drinking back then when I was a baby because she ended up getting clean. My mom had alcohol issues, but that's some of my first memories, honestly, was being in a freaking hair salon with my mom. I know that's weird.
That's actually kind of cute. I like it. Were you an only child?
Only child. Yeah, that's why I'm an attention freak, I think.
Yes. And also, do you come from any military people?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess kind of my grandfather, I was saying earlier, whom I didn't have a relationship with my dad, was in the military and got my grandmother pregnant, was not in my dad's life. So he met him one time when he was like 2 or 3, and then they never talked ever again. So he was in the military, but my dad wasn't, and my mom has nothing to do, and nobody on her side is in the military. So no, I don't have really a real military background, but I spent a little time at military school. I went to military school for a semester.
Oh, you did? How old were you?
I was 17. I got in a little bit. It was just like, it was military school, but it was more like a summer football program. And you kind of went up there. It's kind of like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's kind of like a sports program, but you had to do all the military school stuff.
Like the
So
boot camp?
Yes, it would be like, let's say there's like a lot of good athlete type kids who didn't have their life together. So there's a program in Virginia at this military school. You go there and then kind of help you get your life together. Kind of just like get you back in shape and you play sports and it
Yeah.
would help you get credits. Like it would be like summer school. So like say they'd basically let you cheat and give you 21 hours of high school credits by going to this thing. So a lot of athletes went there, but it was still a military deal. And but that was only like 3 months. So it was
Were
just
were you kind of like a rebel child,
Oh, I
questioning
was the
stuff?
worst. Are you kidding? I was the worst kid ever. I was like always in the principal's office, always causing trouble, always putting my foot in my mouth. I'm a self-sabotage master.
What so let's back up into when you were little again. What were the things that you liked in pop culture, like cartoons and stuff like that?
Well, I loved wrestling, WWF wrestling. That was Stone Cold Steve Austin. I
Oh
loved
yeah.
all the accoutrement of The Rock. Are you kidding? And then I loved the Dallas Cowboys. I'm a Dallas Cowboys nut. But I was never really big into video games. Like I played them a little bit as a kid, but I always stunk, and I don't play video games now. So that was never my thing. I like as a little kid, I liked watching sports, but I liked wrestling. And I can't even remember what cartoons. I always liked that critic cartoon with what's that actor? I love his name so much. I don't know. I used to watch not that many cartoons. I guess I kind of watched X-Men a little bit, but
Yeah.
I
What about
mean,
comic books and stuff like that?
I never really was big into comic books. No, and I didn't ever really read many books either. I didn't have at all.
Did you have a relationship with nature?
Yeah, because as a kid, I had a bike and my parents weren't strict. My parents divorced when I was about 10. And even before then, like I remember always playing in the alley, finding animals and frogs and stuff. So I was never had strict parents. So yes, I was always outside causing trouble in my neighborhood. But nature, like out in the woods, no. I mean, camping, I'm not really a huge camper, but I am a urban outdoorsman, I would consider myself.
And also, did you have any fears like darkness, under the bed, all that kind of stuff?
One of my first fears my dad always teased me about still to this day is when I was a little kid and he used to have a convertible. And in Dallas, we have these huge interpasses and over sections, like huge. I mean, literally, you got to go over a bridge over 4 highways. It goes like hundreds of feet in the air. And I remember being scared in a convertible in the car with my dad. My dad would like, drive really fast and be like, Dad, this is scary on these huge bridges. And my dad teases me to this day, like, say we're in the car together. He's like, remember when you were a little kid and you were scared to go on these bridges? So I grew up as a kid, my dad pranking me. We used to do this thing where he would grab my nose with his 2 fingers and fake hit his hand. He'd like hit his hand real hard like that. Like he'd go like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And then I would pretend to be hurt. I'd be like, ow, ow. And we got kicked out of a bunch of Walmarts and a bunch of retail stores doing that. We tricked a bunch of people.
Oh, so we see where this starts.
Yeah, we're troublemakers. We're attention seekers.
You were troublemakers up to the
And
Walmart.
this is my problem, guys. My dad is a career bail bondsman. He didn't go to college. He went to, a good high school, but ended up because like he didn't really kind of have that father figure kind of keep him in line. So he ended up getting a job when he was 18. I think it was like when he was 17 and ended up making enough money by the time he, ended high school, graduated high school that he just decided to work. And so he's in the bail bond business. He gets out pimps and drug dealers and prostitutes out of jail and, murderers and, these terrible people. And one of my also first memories, when I was a kid, I used to stay in my dad's bail bond office with his secretary. Her name was Red, and she used to chain smoke cigarettes all day. And my dad was too busy to care for a baby, and my mom was drinking at the hair salon, sometimes.
Dude.
So they would leave me in the office, and one day, Red wasn't paying attention. I ate all these cigarette butts. There's a tray. Yes,
Oh
they had to
God.
take me to the hospital and pump my stomach.
Oh my God.
Yes, and then they pump my stomach. I'm fine. When I'm coming out of the hospital, I guess I was old enough. I was just started walking. I'm walking out of the hospital, and this is how big of an animal nut I was. I went to go pet a dog. This is at the hospital and got bit by the dog and had to immediately go back in the hospital. Yes, I can't make this up. I couldn't even make that up. Got bit by a dog. Yes.
You're hilarious. None of this is surprising though. You are so funny. Yeah, you can't make that up. That's classic.
And my dad tells people to this day, he tells people that I was born in a veterinarian, not a hospital. I was born in a veterinarian because it
because of
was
the
cheaper.
animals.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was just because it was
cheaper.
cheaper. Yeah, it just is cheaper. Like a home birth was a little cheaper.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, at least they have a sense of humor. Do you have a good relationship with your family?
Oh yeah, it's really intense. Yeah, I'm really close. I'm a little too close to my parents, probably. Well,
Well,
my
I
dad's
don't.
got kidney disease. Don't feel sorry for him. It's stage 2, so he's not on dialysis or anything. So I actually just moved next door to my dad. So but it's already super close to my dad anyway. But so now I'm seeing my dad every single day, and then my mom lives 2 miles down the road. So I mean, I don't see her every day, but I talk to her about every day. I just don't see her because she's just kind of. I do see her a lot too, but I'm seeing my dad every freaking day. So I am so incredibly close to my parents. I'm 33, about to turn 34. I'm single. I probably need to. People probably tease me. I'm a little too close to my parents, and I'm not ashamed of that because when they die, I'm never gonna look back and be like, "Oh, I'm so mad I spent more time with my
No, don't.
parents,"
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
I'm not like guilty like that. But yes, I'm kind of like a mama's and daddy's boy now that I'm this old. It's not like a financial thing. I mean, I used to live, right down the street, but now that he's, not feeling as good as he once was, it just is comforting to live next door. And that's kind of the thing with this whole coronavirus is like we were scared one night when he was kind of having issues with his kidneys to go to the hospital because they didn't want to get put on a ventilator. You just don't know. And they didn't want to test positive corona and this small
Yeah,
thing or this thing turns into some huge deal. But that kind of woke me up, and that's actually what got me to start my channel. So maybe it was a
really.
blessing. Yeah, maybe it was a blessing in disguise. And I'm not trying to use my dad's sickness as that. That's why I don't want sympathy or anything. But in a way, maybe that was in a way it was kind of a good thing and motivated me to try to go speak and try to change the current reality that we're living in.
Jerry, it looked like you were going to say something.
I totally forgot what I was going to say.
Alex mesmerized you.
No,
I
I'm
don't think
looking.
so.
I'm just looking through the debates. While
Anything good going on in these debates?
no. Twitter's
Well, how
way
long?
better.
How long is the show usually? An hour, 2 hours?
2
2
hours.
hours
Oh, cool,
ish.
cool. Oh, that's cool.
So, all right, let's get back to when you were little. What was the world of dream like for you? Did you dream? Do you remember being a child that had dreams?
Yes, I mean, dreams I think are always like a big part of my life. I know that sounds weird, but yes, I remember very vivid dreams and dreams feeling like they're real. And I remember waking up from dreams and wishing you didn't wake up. So yes, I've always been a big dreamer. And I've always had this another thing is I guess some of my first dreams, now that I'm thinking about it right now, I'm processing it, were probably nightmares.
Do you remember any details of what was scary in the dreams?
I remember as a young kid having a lot of falling. I don't know why, but I remember having lots of falling dreams because I don't really have those anymore. So I remember as a kid having those. And like a lot of dreams as a kid, I remember like I'd be like trying to kick a soccer ball and I like, couldn't move my leg, or I tried to catch something and I couldn't move my arm, or I tried to punch somebody and I didn't have any force. So I remember having those dreams too as a young kid.
Did you have a lot of dreams that were in that vein? So you say punch someone, kick someone, where you were in situations like that?
I mean, I guess so. Not a ton of fights, but like I think I would have nightmares where I would be like punching or something in the nightmare. You know what I mean? Like where it'd be like an evil something and I'd try to punch it and I couldn't punch and then I'd wake up. So yeah, I mean, anytime I had a nightmare, it was probably physical, like zombies or whatever was in the dream. But yeah, I did have a lot of nightmares where there was physical stuff like that for sure.
And you were having dreams with like zombie type monsters and stuff?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Really, that far back?
Well, I don't know, maybe when I was a young kid if I was really zombies, but yes, I remember nightmares because I remember like, I always slept in a room by myself, but yes, I remember having lots, and I still had the only thing that fixed my nightmares, and maybe I'm fast forwarding too much. I started heavily exercising, and I'm not talking about like hardcore exercise. I'm talking about just walking every single day, spending at least an hour miles. That's the only thing that stopped my nightmares. I'm telling you, I've suffered from. It's funny we're having this dream show. I've suffered from nightmares my whole freaking life, and that's probably been one of the that I've suffered from so much I've just gotten used to it.
Yeah. But since you've been doing all this walking, they've dissipated?
I would say ever since I stopped eating meat and exercising regularly every single day, I don't hardly ever have a nightmare.
That's interesting. And you can correspond it to. So, are you a vegetarian or a vegan?
Oh, well, I'm just vegetarian because I sometimes eat cheese, but I don't eat a lot of cheese. I really don't eat hardly any cheese, and I don't eat eggs. But I do like honey. Like I really love honey. I eat peanut butter and honey all the time, but I don't feel guilty eating honey because I like bees, and I don't think bees really care if I take their honey.
Wait, pump the brake. When did honey become not vegan?
Is it not? I mean, I just thought
You can have. I was a vegan for a long time, and
Oh, is
I've
honey
always had
okay?
honey. Yeah.
It's
Well,
not
see,
made
well,
by
see,
animals, it's made by insects, so it's cool.
okay, cool. Well, what I'm saying is like I have cashew cheese. I use fake cheese, but sometimes I freaking go have a cheese pizza. I mean, and it's not all the time, but that's probably. But like, if I ever have like a fake burger, I don't ever add a cheese patty to it. I don't have grilled cheeses. I really don't eat that much cheese, but cheese pizza, I think it's a queso morphine I have to have, because that's like the one thing that and because I don't really crave anything else, and I crave sweets. I crave sweets like crazy. I eat way too much sugar. I gotta cut down on my sugar.
The sugar is the big deal. Yeah.
Well, it's because I'm not eating meat, so it's like my body wants something bad. Like I was just eating candy, and I feel less guilty about it because this is why. Because whether or not you eat meat or you don't eat meat, it's not spirit. For me, it was spiritual, but what I'm trying to say is this you can't debate. When you're eating meat, it's slower for your body to digest. But when you're eating carbohydrates and you're eating vegetables, your body can digest that so much easier. So when you go a couple days without eating meat, your digestion changes so much. So for me, my digestion's so good and I can eat candy and my body just absorbs it. It's like nothing. And it doesn't make me feel bloated, but like say you're to eat a turkey sandwich or something, you feel what I'm saying is it's just an awesome for me, the way I feel for my digestive system. I don't think I'll ever, ever, ever go back to meat. And that's why I would suggest it to people just for their digestion. But I also don't want to be that guy that suggests this lifestyle because that's so freaking annoying.
Yeah. I don't even talk too much about this stuff, but I'm mostly like a pescatarian. But I
Yeah,
mean,
fish isn't bad. I mean, fish really isn't bad for your digestive system. But
I love seafood and
yeah,
fish.
yeah.
Baby, you can't take that from me, and I love dairy.
I was overeating a lot of chicken. See, I don't need dairy because I eat the almond milk if I want, the milk. I don't really need the dairy. But the queso morphine, I like, and I there's like a New York style pizza place. I get the extra large 18-inch, and I get it with mushrooms and pineapple. They think I'm so weird.
Alex, you're working me up tonight.
I know, babe. Come on, every
I'm
night
ready to
I'm
go.
trying
What
to
are you
rev the
working
engine.
with?
I'm working with everything, babe. I'm working with a full deck. I'm working with a full house, babe. I got that
And you're
Uno card.
needy. You're needy
I'm
too. I
needy.
might need to marry you.
I'm emotionally needy. Yes.
I like a needy man.
Is that true? You like that? That's a turn on. That's not a turn off.
I like to feel wanted.
Dating right now is so freaking annoying. I can't tell you. I got this app I don't hardly ever look at, Hinge, but these girls on here, it's not them. It's not them. I'm the one that's terrible, but it's just this meeting and this society now where this instant gratification where you swipe left or swipe right on somebody without ever knowing them, without ever getting a chance and not seeing them in person. It's so vapid and like sterilized and
Oh, I can't
creepy.
imagine. Yeah, I can't. It's so easy to catch a dick. I don't know why people are on.
No, you're right about that. But people are not just trying to catch dick, though. They're trying to find, Mr. Right. But the thing is, the problem with the app is I don't mind using it, but then I'm the guy that's against the technocracy. Yeah, I got a freaking app on my phone where I'm trying to flirt with girls, and there's, people at these companies can read all my messages, see where I'm going, all because I'm trying to get laid. Like, it's really kind of
They're
pathetic.
catching your dick pics and everything. How
I don't
did
even
our
see,
show
I don't even.
descend into this?
Because sleeping is, I mean, you get a lot of erections during sleep. Well, how do dreams and erections? Oh, and ever since I've been
Now we're
vegetarian,
talking.
ever since I've been vegetarian, my erections are way harder.
Watch out, Igor's going to be coming out pretty soon.
Holy my God.
Yeah, that's a fact.
That's the working with the wood. Okay, so let's roll this back. This is going to be the most hilarious Nox Mente ever. Okay, so back to when you were having dreams, you always had nightmares. In your earliest period, do you remember having, and actually, I've started to expand this, but I'm trying to just do it in life sections. So earlier were you able to fly in dream? Did you have like dream powers?
Yeah, I remember a little bit of flying. I do remember a little bit of flying, but definitely more falling. Definitely more
There's
falling.
a thing with you and falling, bridges and falling.
Yeah, that is it. But I don't really consider myself like afraid of heights. Like Jerry says he doesn't like to fly. I don't really mind flying all that much. And I like being on tall buildings.
But in dreams you were falling, did you ever hit?
Say that in the dreams, yeah. I mean, sometimes I think I would in dreams hit, but I remember more dreams of falling, like always on the ledge, a lot of ledge type dreams. And if I'm not fast forwarding too much, but I have a reoccurring stress dream all the time, and I'm having it so less. I don't even know if I had it in the past 2 years.
Share it with us.
Well, it's where a friend calls me and says, "Alex, where are you? You're gonna miss the midterm." And I wake up and I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm late for a test in college and I failed that semester." And it's always the same dream over and over. You know what I mean? Whether it's a different scenario, like whether I'm in a different bed or whether it's a different classmate calling me, but it's always school. And then I also have this reoccurring dream where it's so weird because I know these are different, but I haven't really had this dream in a long time either. But this dream really fucks me up the most. This dream like makes me almost want to cry when I wake up from it. My senior year, I was captain of the Highland Park football team. I was a really good football player, and I had a lot of like, you know, praise. But I ended up not having as good a season as I wanted, and we ended up losing earlier in the playoffs, and so it was really a big letdown. And I went on to play after it, but I didn't have a good career. Like it just I didn't. My college career sucked. I played one semester and basically quit. But regardless of that, so my football career didn't go good, and I loved football. But I have this dream where like I'm suiting up and I'm playing, but it's me now with the knowledge I have now and like the strength and I'm big, even though I was like bigger then, but I'm still it's normal. Like everybody in the dream is calling me the normal Alex, the normal 18-year-old Alex. And always whenever like the football's about to start, when the game's about to start, we're walking out in the tunnel. Like I'm so happy in my dream. My favorite thing, I'm gonna get to go play football again. Like, oh my God, like I don't want the dream to end. Then I wake up and it's always before the game starts. I always wake up and it always sucks. I'm always like, oh, I wish I could have played in my dream. Or it's always kind of like sad. Like that dream like makes me emotional when I have old football dreams. Those are the real ones that really fuck me up.
Why do you think they make you emotional?
I don't know. I don't know. I guess I like when I was a kid, I was so competitive and I wanted to be. I just love sports. I guess I put so much into it. I don't know. I don't know why I get emotional, but those dreams, the stress dreams, but even the old football dreams, I'm telling you, those are weird. I haven't really been having them lately, but I used to have them more, pretty regular, like once a month, and I'd be mad at my coaches. It was always different. It's always like football, and I'm usually always me, but I'm like in my 18-year-old body, and I have the same knowledge, but it's not like I can tell the future, but I'm just me transported back then, not really having any knowledge of the future, just being live in the moment in the dream. And it sucks when it ends.
Do you feel like in general that you're in life, is this something do you feel like you miss out on stuff?
I don't have fear of missing out. I don't even try. I'm so antisocial that I don't even really care if I miss out on stuff. And I'm not saying that as an excuse. So I don't think I have like, did you say, re-ask the question? Did you say, do I fear of missing out on stuff?
Yeah, do you feel like not fear, do you feel like you're missing out on stuff? Like you want to go and do stuff, but then it's either over, or you didn't make it in time, or there's a bunch of bullshit that happened that caused you not to get to where you wanted to
You're
go
talking about in the dream?
in life.
Yeah, no, because I think that I have a good life. I think I don't have a ton of responsibilities. I think I have a little bit of money saved. And I mean, no, I guess I'm 33. Maybe I don't wish I had a wife and kids, to be honest. So that's why I don't feel like that. Like I don't even want. Both my parents went through two divorce. They divorced each other, then got remarried, and then divorced their other, my stepdad and stepmom. So no, I don't really envy anybody getting married, and I'm not broke. So I'm not like mad at where I am in my status in life that I missed out because. So that I don't feel like and I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. I can do whatever I want. I mean, other than my cats, I could literally go and move and do whatever the hell I want. But I really just want to be near my family and take care of my cats and have a relaxing life without anxiety is what I want.
Yeah.
I remembered what I was going to say before. It was
What is
to
it?
point out to Suzanne that you're 33.
Yeah, I know, Illuminati.
Mm. You get your Illuminati year.
Yeah.
You're making the most of it though.
Yeah.
Well, my birthday's tomorrow, so tonight at midnight, I'm 34. I hate birthdays, guys. I hate birthdays so much. I don't even want to get on my birthday rant. I was thinking about going live tonight, but I told myself because I'm going to go live on my birthday tomorrow. I'm going to just talk to y'all and then take tonight off as my little birthday rest. Because I hate birthdays. I'm kind of my I mean, I'm not in a good mood about my birthday. How do you guys feel about birthdays?
They're just another day for me. They always have been. But I like you need to be like in a blue loincloth with a mask. Damn, wait, I need to
a
get
ball
my
gag
fantasies
mask
out.
or
I got to get back into the show.
Yeah.
Okay,
when she tells you to bend over, watch out.
No, none of that.
I will
Cough.
bend over. I'm not afraid.
Okay, you're game. All right,
I'll give
we're
you a
working
little
with
show.
this.
I'm not afraid to tease a little bit. I've always been known as a little bit of a tease, and I'm not gonna deny that.
Oh, we can work with this then.
I got a lot to work with.
How big of a feller are you?
Big enough, I know that. I've always been big enough, I know that.
All right, you two, back to the show.
All right, back to the dreams. Yes, back to the dreams.
So funny. Okay, we've got a stand-up thing going in the background. People don't realize that we're actually touring virtually.
Yeah.
So, okay.
digital tour.
Right. Anyway, so when in the earlier days, you got me totally off track here, Alex.
So talking about early dreams, yeah. Talking about a lot of hitting in my dreams.
Yeah, I was talking about superpowers in your dreams. So more falling, less flying. What about lucid dreams when you were young? Or even now, do you lucid dream?
Yes. And I love a lucid dream where I'm half awake, half asleep, where I can control it. But I have to say this embarrassingly, and I guess I'm just going to speak my truth because we've already been kind of perverted. Usually my lucid dreams are sexual.
Oh, all right. Well, let's get into that. You know,
Well, you know what I
my
mean?
favorite
Usually-
dreams are wet dreams, personally. Everyone
I've
knows
had-
this.
Okay, and you know it's funny? I've never had like a ton of wet dreams, but I've had multiple wet dreams as an adult. I've had more as an adult than I had as a little kid, but that's as a younger kid, but that's probably because I was cranking it. You know what I mean? As an adult, I don't hardly crank it. And so that's what I remember one time, so I was on this reality show, Worst Cooks in America in New York.
In real life?
In real life. This is a real show with Bobby Flay and Ann Burrell is on the Food Network. And you live in this house and like you compete. They get all these bad chefs and they try to get Bobby Flay and Ann Burrell. They break us up into teams and they mentor us on how to be good chefs. And then they like kick us off one by one. But what happened was this Hurricane Sandy hit and it slowed down production for a week. So they kept us all there. But then during that week, Ann Burrell's apartment, she had this basement apartment flooded and her cats died. And she got like real depressed and couldn't work. She kept on saying she was going to work. But for like a month, like didn't show up, kept not showing up, and they didn't know what to do. So they kept us in this brownstone. So I ended up staying in this house. We were bored. No girls, can't leave it. I mean, we could leave it like together if they knew we were going, but I didn't have like a car. I was always with like a PA. I could never jack it. I couldn't crank it for a month. I couldn't crank it. And about 3 weeks in, it was so embarrassing. I woke up one morning and my freaking boxers were basically crusted to my leg as an adult, as a 29-year-old adult. And it was the funniest thing in the world, but I've had them since. But I just remember how being so embarrassed, like having to sneak out because you're in a room with other guys. You're sharing you're in twin beds with a room. And I'm like, my boxers are sticking to me. Going to a basic public restroom is embarrassing. It's very embarrassing. But yeah, wet dream.
Do you remember the dream?
No.
When you have these kinds of dreams, what is there a theme with your sexual dreams?
No. I mean, it's never with a guy or anything. I mean, it's always with a girl. I guess that's the thing. I'm trying to think. That's the only theme, but it's never the same girl. It's usually not like a celebrity. It's usually like probably actually somebody I know. Usually in the dream.
Oh,
you know? Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of times, yes, yeah, especially. Yeah, like I'll have a dream that it was me and one of my exes. That's like a reoccurring dream. You know, it's not like Anna Nicole Smith or somebody. You know, it's like a real girl that I dated.
Yeah. Well, you're keeping it real.
I guess that's what's in my spank bank. I guess.
Yeah.
I guess that's what's my brain's going to. But so explain to me how does this happen? How does this happen? Because there's been times, Nish, I've been with a girl and I couldn't finish, right? And this is an adult show. and I just couldn't for
In real
whatever.
life or in the
In
dream?
in real life, there's times like you could say it was alcohol or whatever, but there's this is a time
Oh,
when
you
just
were coming with whiskey dick. Were you pumping rope?
I don't know. What I'm saying is there's just a time. There was a time when I was even with a girl and I couldn't finish, for whatever reason. Okay. But in my dream with no girl by myself, you can make yourself finish without your hand with just your mind. What is going on? How can your brain just make you do that? It's unbelievable.
Because Alex, in the end, almost all of it really is mental.
I know.
Even for
Yes.
guys, and this is something that people don't realize. Jerry, were you going to pump in on this?
Well, I know it's mental because I can't really get off and really enjoy sex unless I have feelings for the girl. I mean, I
Yeah.
still can have it, but if I have feelings for the girl and somebody I love, it's so much more enjoyable, and that's like what I really crave. I don't like to have random sex. It makes me feel icky.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I like that about you a lot. I like it actually says a lot. It's tender. They used to call it lady-hearted, not for gay men,
Yeah.
but lady-hearted, tender-hearted.
I am tenderhearted because that's just like I don't like to get spit out and chewed up by girls. Like that's kind of how it was in Los Angeles. I'd never dealt with that in college. I mean, I dealt in college random hookups, but like in LA, I've never like met women that kind of like ate up men, and I encountered a couple of them. Like they would sleep with you, but they would be sleeping with like a couple rosters of men, and like so if you got emotionally attached to them, they treat
They
you
call
like
it a
shit.
stable. They
Yeah,
have-
that's
yeah.
exactly, and that's fine. But I, as a new, young, and up and comer relationship newbie, you didn't know that, and it kind of hurt my heart because I'm sleeping with this girl, but she doesn't have feelings for me, and my brain didn't know how to compute that with the few women in LA, like 2 or 3 girls. I was kind of bummed out. I remember being like, why won't they stop sleeping with other guys and just date me? What is wrong with me? But that was like a pattern, and some women are like that, and that's totally fine. That's totally fine.
Yeah. Oh,
But
yeah.
I don't like to be like that. Me personally, I don't like to have a stable of girls that I call and I just get with for a moment. No, that's not.
I've never rolled like that either. I can't deal with it. I don't want to be in situations where I'm misleading. That's like, and plus I've always been really, I guess it's so funny. I've always been really fearful of any kind of nastiness you can get from sex. So unfortunately I never did. So I don't like the idea of STDs at all.
Yeah.
Especially
And
if
condoms are annoying. Sex is annoying now. They've annoyed sex.
You raw dogging.
I'm just saying, I mean, you have to wear condoms, but I'm just saying sex, they've always made it annoying now. They're making everything annoying. They can ruin everything.
Wait, you can bareback, but you have to have your mask on.
Well, if we know each other, if I've been seeing you for a minute, that condom's gonna go away really fast.
I said bareback, but you better have that mask on.
Yeah, of course. I'll wear the mask.
Okay,
It's like the difference is trying to explain to a girl, well, being naked with knee-high stockings is sexier than just being totally naked. It's hard to explain why that's hard.
Oh yeah, I'm all about the veils. I love that. All right, so let's go back to earlier you. And so you were having a lot of erotic dreams and they were playing out. Is this before you actually realized you could masturbate in real life?
As a kid, yes. I had erotic dreams before I knew I could masturbate in real life, for sure.
Did you know what was going on?
In the dream?
Yeah.
Like sexually, no, because I can still remember my first real erection that I remember having. I was watching Teen Wolf with what's his name? Michael J. Fox. And I remember seeing the girl with her bra, and I remember telling my mom, like, "Mom, what is going on?" I remember I told my mom. Yes.
That's so cute. I love that.
Yeah, well, I can remember. So yes, like I remember I didn't know what was going on, but
And then you had a dream?
what I'm saying is like it's like anything would get me aroused. So like maybe even like looking at the Sears ad of a girl in grandma's lingerie would give me. So that's what I'm saying. In my dreams, I don't think I was like penetrating with sex. No, I was probably just kissing or like looking at a bra.
Isn't this common for guys? Like I always like finding even the JCPenney's lingerie section, or the gold was the Victoria's Secret.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty common for boys to like really, that was like the material.
That is common, but nowadays it's really perverted. That's the sexualization of our children now with the internet, where kids can look up hardcore porn. Because I was right.
It's terrible. Yeah, that's all bad.
I was right on that cusp because I had internet right when I was in 6th grade. But I
Mm.
had 56K, and I mean, I did look up a little bit of porn, I remember then, but I didn't look up a bunch. Like it was different. It wasn't videos. It didn't have videos. So like you look up Pamela Anderson's tits, it wasn't as perverted as it is now. Not even close. And I'm not saying it was good back then, but it was much different. So by the time like the internet got real, I remember still looking at Playboy magazines and stuff basically till I got to college.
Yeah. Well, bless your heart, darling. I like this about you.
Yeah.
It's okay, so back to so when you were having when you're having erotic dreams and all that, was that the focus? So were you having erotic dreams and then you're having all these kind of high anxiety dreams as well at the same time?
Yeah, I would say sadly, I'm like, gosh, now I look back, what a pervert, a little kid. I'm having like sexual dreams and nightmares are the only two ones I can remember. I really like as a younger dreams. I remember a lot of the nightmares and I remember sexual dreams. Yeah.
So what I forgot, and I cannot recall this. I cannot even recall if we talked about it. Were you raised Catholic or anything?
No, I wasn't raised really religious at all. No, I mean, my mom, talked about God and my mom, believed in God, but no, didn't make us
You
go to
didn't have
church.
like that guilt associated with
No,
it.
zero guilt whatsoever.
Okay, because that's a good thing to get out of the way when we're talking about your unconscious and the dreams and stuff. It can, it's actually very significant. When you started developing more, and I wanted to get deeper into the lucid dreams, how okay, so first of all, how did you first discover what a lucid dream was? How did the first moment where you realize, "Oh man, I'm dreaming. I'm in a dream and I'm awake." Do you recall that, or do you recall just the general period when that was starting to happen?
I can't remember the first one, but I remember like I feel like I think the first time I had a lucid dream though was with a nap, but I don't remember what it was. But I feel like the first time,
That makes a lot of sense, by the way.
yeah. But I remember the first time being a nap, but I can't even kind of remember when or what it was. But I remember being a nap and remember like waking in and up and being able to kind of control the dream and being like, "This is badass. This is kick ass." But I remember being younger, but not that young. Like I was basically an adult, a young adult. Probably like
And
17, 18, probably the first time I think I remember having a lucid dream where I could control it.
and so when you say control it, what were you doing to control it?
Well, I'm saying like lucid, like I was half awake but still dreaming. You know what I mean? I don't know how to like I was in control of my body but still kind of dreaming at the same time. I don't think I could control the narrative. Maybe a little bit in the dream, but I remember there's times where I've wanted to control a dream more, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Did you ever get to the point where you could do that?
Yeah, I mean, I've had it on and off where I've been able to control a little bit of the dream. Honestly, I have, but it's not a common thing. But yeah, there's been times where I've been able to control a dream, and it was sexual. So I was
Back.
yes,
We
yes.
looping back.
I know, and I'm not trying to get sexual because I know this isn't a sexual show, but we're talking about dreams. And the
No,
only time that
it's all tied in, Alex. Don't apologize.
well,
And everyone knows I love talking about wet dreams and sexual dreams.
yeah, well, it's an interesting topic, but yes, I mean, for me, the lucid dreams, I remember like being like half awake and half asleep, and like kind of like moving my hands, and like in my dream, kind of feeling the breast.
Mhm. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What else?
I mean, everything else. I mean, I don't know if I felt like I was inserting myself in a woman, but I felt I was hot and bothered. I had the emotions. I had the blood pressure was spiking.
Oh my goodness, this might be my favorite Nox Mente
You
ever.
like that one? Wow, you were really. I love, and I'm not. People have always said I was funny, but I know when somebody laughs like that and they can't stop laughing, like you're just doing, that makes my heart sing. Because you try to talk for 1 second, you kind of had to keep laughing. So I love when you laugh. That's my favorite. I love to make people laugh, but I'm being serious. Sadly, right now I'm being dead serious. I wish I was teasing. I'm being as serious as a heart attack right now.
I know you are. That's what makes it so extra endearing. So, all right, when in the dreamscape, how do you experience it? Is it color? Are you able to read in there? Are you able to smell? We know you can touch.
I definitely can touch. Um, can I read and can I? Yes, because I've had food. Yes, I can read. I can do everything in a dream. I can do.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything I can't do in a
So think
dream.
about when you've encountered script of some sort, like a book or poster or something. Are Can you get a visual of that in a dream right now?
Yeah, because I feel like in a dream I've seen clues. So I don't know how much of a script that is, but like I feel like I've seen stuff that was, small minutia type stuff in my dream that maybe not a script, but God, I'm just trying to think right now of what's my dreams have been really a lot more pleasurable in the last few years, but
It
um
sounds like they were all pretty pleasurable, except for the other
no, I've had
side.
I'm telling you, Niche, I have a nightmare problem. I had a nightmare problem so bad where this is like 2016. I went and saw my general practitioner and got some antidepressants and took freaking Lamictal for like 6 weeks, and I felt terrible after that and never took an antidepressant again. But I was having that bad of nightmares. I was literally having nightmares where it was almost every other night. But I think now looking back, I was drinking and partying, and I mean I wasn't a drug addict. I wasn't drinking every single night, but I just had a poor lifestyle, and so that was probably just it was exponential. That's why my dreams probably got exponentially bad because I was exponentially not taking care of myself.
So let's talk about that for a minute, Alex. When you were having those, that took you to the point of getting meds for it. Do you remember any of the themes around those bad dreams in specific?
Yeah, I'm telling you, a lot of those, some of those zombie dreams, some of those scary dreams, but a lot of stress dreams. Like, you didn't, why didn't you show up to the exam? You're late. You're gonna get an F. Like the teacher's not gonna let you retake it. And I'm always like waking up late. Or,
I want to hear about the zombies.
well, I mean, just dreams where I'd be like, yeah, I'd be like, let's say I'm in a room and then I get just this. You know what? Some of the scariest dreams I've ever had. This is some of the nightmares I had, and it'd be so stupid. So, I'd be in the dream. Let's say I'm being in the woods, right? And in the dream, I'm standing there all by myself in the woods, and it's dark. And in front of me, there's like a can. Let's just say there's just something, an object that doesn't belong in the woods. And then in the dream, I turn around and then I turn back to where I was looking, and the thing's gone. And I wake up so fucking scared.
Interesting.
Have you ever
And
heard of that?
well, yeah, that actually makes sense to me. Were you usually lucid for those?
Kinda, I believe, yes. I believe I probably was half lucid for those dreams, but those dreams, that's some of the most scary dreams where it'll be just something, there will be no monster, there'll be nothing. But like there'll be like an object there, I turn around and I look back and it's just gone. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
I wake up like, like out of breath almost, scared.
Well, I mean, usually that's one of the cues that you are dreaming, that when stuff like that happens, it's a big deal. And, it's interesting with you and the lucid dreams and all this. It seems like you're really there, and there's all this cueing to get you deeper into the idea of waking within the dream. And it's like you just don't, like, there's other stuff that's interfering. And that's where I wanted to talk about with some of the monsters in your more modern dreams, before obviously you're in a calm down period now. But I want to look at some of these scary monsters, and the reason I want to look at them is because I'm actually trying to put together some overlay with other dreamers on mining collective dreams that overlap with stuff that's going on in the public right now. So monsters are very common
Well,
currently.
when I say monsters, I would almost say it's more like clandestine figures, like a hooded person or like, like kind of like a zombie, like almost looks like a
Yes,
normal
yeah.
person. So not somebody that looks like a 10-foot tall cockroach.
No,
More
no,
like,
no, but the zombies are really popping up is what I'm saying.
yeah, because I guess I loved Walking Dead. I mean, I loved freaking all those zombie movies from 2005. What's my favorite one where they're in the mall? What's that one called? Dawn of the Dead. That's one of my favorite movies as a kid. So I've really always liked zombie that genre. So that probably makes sense that that's in my subconscious.
Well, it's a psychologically rich symbol. It's very primal, and speaks a lot about social engineering. I mean, we could just dissect it all day, and it makes sense. And of course, it's been seeded in the collective a lot in the last decade. So there's a reason that it's in there, and there's good reasoning that that's why people are dreaming it. But then we look at how the world has turned in this last year, and there's a lot of zombie like behavior, and this is not getting into any woo where people are, there's just a lot of uh mindless
Everybody's a
stuff.
zombie. Everybody's a
Everyone's going
zombie.
crazy, and there's a lot of mindlessness, and there's a lot of pointing fingers and yelling and craziness. There's everything's kind of unhinged, and everything feels unstable. And so we have in the outer world this environment that's very conducive to what could be going on in our personal internal worlds that are playing into this collective narrative. And so that's why I'm looking at this overlap. But ironically,
well,
you're not
well,
having bad dreams these days.
No, during during, thank goodness, thank God, my dreams were so bad. That's why I was so interested in coming on the show. My dreams were so, and I'm not saying my life was even that bad. I probably did suffer from normal depression. I'd say my depression's way better now, but my dreams were so regularly nightmarish that I would not even get that much sleep at night. I'd always have to take a nap. That's how bad they were.
Did you, when you got on the meds, did it take away your dreams at all, or did you continue to dream?
I kind of remember dreaming on those, and I remember having unpleasant dreams on the Lamictal. That's why I got off it really fast. I remember it didn't really change my dreams, but I remember it might even made my dreams more intense from what I remember.
How did it affect you otherwise from, in general? Did it change? How,
I
your
was never
demeanor?
I was never suicidal ever taking that. I was thinking of like suicide idealization, kind of like, oh man, if I was just dead, I wouldn't have to deal with this. I'd just be, and I would never had thought of that before, and that medicine made me think like that. So that was a
That's
big red
interesting.
flag. Yes.
Side effect, death.
Yeah, or wanting to die. That's even worse. I mean, that's not worse than dying, but it's close. I mean, a pill that you give people that are already depressed that makes them think about their suicide even more. I just don't understand the logic in that.
So so still at this point in your life, you don't have any dreams where you're flying. Is it still just a falling thing, or how do you get from one point to another?
In my dreams, yeah, because it's funny you say that because I always think of like Dwight Schrute in The Office and his Second Life, and there's a video. I remember, I don't know if you ever saw that game, Second Life, but in that game you fly around like that.
I played Second Life for a minute. I loved it.
Yeah, you remember? So you kind of fly around. I never had dreams where you fly around like that. I mean, I've had dreams where I've flown, but that wasn't like a regular thing. It wasn't as regular as the freaking you're gonna fail the test dream. I mean, I've had that dream over 100 times, probably.
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to figure out how you get from one scenario to another right now. Your movement within.
I walk
dreams.
in my dreams.
Really?
Yeah, because I
So
walk.
you don't just pop in. You don't can.
No,
you
I
go
can like
from-
walk. I can open a door and walk and be in a totally different place in a dream.
Mhm.
Like, because I've had dreams where it's like that, where like I'm in my house and then I open a door and I'm in a totally different place.
Interesting. And what about the idea of dreaming true? Do you ever dream events before they happen?
No, I've never had any sort of clairvoyant dreams, but I've had dreams that felt so real that I've woke up and I was so like, gosh, another weird dream I've had. I hate to say this. I hope this doesn't make me sound like a creep, but have you ever had a dream where like you murdered somebody and you tried to hide it up and you got like you're all stressed out in the dream? Have you ever had that dream?
Dude, I used to have recurring nightmares like
Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry, that's what I'm saying. I had a nightmare like that, and I've had it recurring, and it's like I never really remember killing the person, but in the dream I always have to try to cover it up. I'm always
Yes.
trying to cover it up.
I
don't ever remember the death.
I always had to move the body. Always had to
Yeah,
move
that's
the
what I'm
body.
saying. Hey, that's basically what the dream was, moving the body. I
Yep.
never remember, but like I would be like in my car with a dead body and be like, oh shit. I don't ever remember killing anybody in the dream, but I've had multiple times. What is that, Jerry? And I don't know to call my dad. I don't know who to call in the dream. It's so fucking scary.
Mine was even worse because I never actually saw the body. I just knew there was one buried in my basement. I always had to move it, but I never moved it in my dream. It was always just moved in my next dream. It was in this new house in this new basement.
When was this, Jerry? How, like, your age range?
10 years ago. 15 years ago.
I love that you two have this in common.
Yeah, I've had the dream where like the dream was so intense I buried the body, and the dream went on where I was like trying to like worried that they were gonna find it.
That's
It's
it.
weird.
I
Isn't that weird? It's
I
fudge.
think
What does
it's
that mean?
I kind of chalked it up to suppressed guilt or some kind of some kind of secret that you're holding or hiding.
Yeah, that does probably make sense, but everybody has secrets. I mean, I don't know how big the thing is. Really and truly, I don't know what my deepest, darkest secret. If I told you this right now, I don't even think you'd be like, "That's that big of a secret." I mean, I don't really want to say it, but I honestly don't really have that personally. I don't think I have a bunch of secrets that my mom was, in a self-induced coma from drugs. That's probably my most embarrassing things that I don't tell people, but I don't have a lot of real secrets.
Alex, you don't have to divulge stuff like that.
I know. Well, my mom's great now. She got clean and she's great now. But yeah, that was pretty traumatic. I mean, that's one of the worst things that most people wouldn't say. But like, I really don't think I'm hiding secrets. I try to be actually live my. I actually feel like ever since the last couple of years too, is owning my life has made me a lot less depressed and or not depressed at all. Is just owning it. Not having secrets and kind of just, even if I'm embarrassed about something, I can't change it. You just got to own it. I think that's made my life a lot better.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's a matter of you needing to express, just be who you are. Sometimes I think dreams like that it doesn't have to be secrets. It doesn't have to be repression. It's just that you haven't come into a full expression of who you are. And sometimes it's not even knowing who you are at that point and needing that kind of shedding of the skin.
I think we all have identity issues for sure. Because I mean, do we ever really know? I mean, when do we feel? I guess I feel comfortable in my skin, but do you ever really know yourself? Because why I say that is I've self-sabotaged myself so many times in my life that even though my life's going good, I always kind of worry that I could accidentally self-sabotage myself again. So I know that's a weird thought, but do you ever have that thought? Maybe that's where that dream is caused by that thinking.
Self-sabotage?
Like that I'll accidentally, like maybe I'll get successful on the radio or, with a show and then I'll say the N word and I'll get canceled or something. You know what I mean? I'm worried. I'm just worried or I'll become successful and then I'll become a crack addict and ruin my life. I always worry about that. Sometimes not having control.
Well, that plays into the dreams you were talking about earlier with like the sports arena and getting there and then it's not happening. Like you missed it or something. I mean, this seems to be a theme for sure. And
Yeah.
that's why I was asking you earlier.
I think my life has a lot of themes. There's a lot of themes in correlation with, my life.
Well, this is why we dig into dreams, but there's more in there. So I want to do, okay, so let's add into the mix. What do you feel about things that are non-human? So,
Inanimate objects.
mm,
Well, I'm kind of like a baby
Entities.
hoarder.
Entities.
you're so
it's a-
cute.
well, I'm saying I do attach, and my dad's a little worse than me. He puts emotional attachment into inanimate things, so basically hoarding, and I do that a little bit. Like I have stuff that most people would consider trash that that I have some sort of emotional attachment to. So I respect inanimate things.
Well, I love inanimate things too, but I'm thinking more like the idea of other. So, like maybe,
Beings, yeah, I believe there
yeah.
are. I believe there's other spiritual things. Like my buddy Clark Gable, he was the host of Cheaters and he died of a drug overdose. That's kind of when it changed my life too. And I feel like there's times when I can literally feel him.
Yeah. Have
I
you
mean,
had
literally feel him. Like I can almost. It's like that's one of the times it makes me believe in God or makes me believe in an afterlife more than anything because there's just like some sort of mood or something. And maybe I'm just self manifesting all this stuff. But it literally feels like I can feel him and that he can feel what I'm saying.
Okay, so in the dream realm, have you encountered him at all, or has this just been
Just kinda, I guess, been awake. I don't think I've had a dream with Clark in it. And when I say encounter, I'm like, I could just feel like I like the window blowing. I'm like, I could just feel Clark's energy in
yeah.
the freaking ether. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I feel like his eyes are upon me. So it's not like, hey, Clark, what's up? And he's like, hey, Alex. I like feel like his spirit. So yes, I do feel like there are entities And I feel like I felt that way with other people, but not as strong with my friend Clark.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm with you on this. What about in your in the dream realm? Have you encountered people you know that are dead, or people while you're in the dream you know that they're not living? Ghosts, I guess.
I feel like I want to say no because I don't think I've had really dreams with my grandmother or dead people. I mean, that I knew, I don't. No, I don't think I have, and I probably have, and I'm saying no because I just can't remember. But yeah, I don't think I have.
What about aliens and ET kind of that situation?
No, not.
Cryptids, all that.
Not. I mean, not a lot of aliens. No, like I was saying earlier, one of the scariest dreams would
Jerry's
be.
got something there.
Oh yeah, what would you?
Go ahead and finish. I just wanted to.
Oh, well, I'm saying not a lot of aliens, but like one of the scariest dreams, I'm telling you, is so weird. It's more like Blair Witch Project type dreams, or like, the person's crawling out of the TV, or like you said, there would be like a knife in the woods, and then I turn around and I look back right where the knife was, and it's gone, and I wake up scared. Like that's a lot of that type of scary dreams.
Jer.
I forgot what I was going to say. God damn it.
Oh
Dude.
man, Jerry.
What were we talking about?
In the woods, dreams, nightmares. It's funny how we have a similar dream like that, Jerry. That means there's so many other.
I
people
didn't.
that
It
have that
wasn't a
dream.
similar thing. You said something before that caught my attention, but I forgot what it was.
With the cryptids and the.
Oh,
Not
I
aliens,
remember what I
yeah.
was going to say. It's that you're not a big believer in space.
Yeah, but I was majority of my life.
So was I.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, no, I was never into space aliens. I was never into Star Trek or, I just was never. I was always thought space and stars were cool, but I've never been into science fiction. I could just never get into it for some reason.
Because it's all fake.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
I just wanted to bring that up. I was reminded of your shows with like Jaren and Dave.
Glowbusters. Yeah, I don't believe in space, and I don't believe we're on a spinning ball either. But I don't know what we're on. I just don't believe we're on a moving rock flying through space. 66,600 miles an hour around the sun.
No, we're in a holodeck, dude.
I don't know. I mean, they say we're in a simulation. I'm starting to almost thinking, people, the religious people get mad at me. I'm almost thinking that there's multiple universes that God created, and we're just one of them. And the reason He creates us is because we're His entertainment. I mean, what else is He going to do? He grows us like we grow weed or something. I mean, what the heck? I mean, it's more than that, but He needs to have something to do, and we are His play toys. It's like, humans are the sexual organs of robots. So we're going to create. I'm serious. That's a smarter person than me created that. So we're going to turn robots into theoretically try to take us over. So I'm just saying God probably just kind of created us just for fun. He just wanted to do something. He's like the sexual organs of humans in a way, or of creation.
If He's real.
Yeah, if He's real. But I don't like to think that. I mean, it's not that I don't like to think. I just find it very hard to believe that I came from a monkey that came from a fish that grew a penis and had sex with another fish. I mean, and I don't care how many million years go by. I don't think a fish can turn into a monkey and turn into me. I find that theory impossible.
Right.
Have you been on Cruise on Mistake?
No.
Dude, you are exactly perfect material. This feels like a Cruise on Mistake episode.
No, it doesn't.
It does
There's
a
not
little bit
15
to
people
me.
talking at once.
No, but I mean, outside of that, it does to me. Like at least when I'm on it, and we're going at it. So
yeah, let's get back to the dreams. I'm looking.
well,
I love talking about. It's all connected.
It's all connected, and that's the thing people forget and get tripped out when they want to come and just have the hardcore dream talk. And we have lots of that, but it is all connected. Everything is connected. And so all this outer world stuff is certainly rooted into all the inner space, our dreams. And so it's just different ways of interacting with different people. But so with dreams currently, what are your dreams like now?
I would say my dreams are pretty pleasant in that they're not as visual or as intense. But is there a way, and I usually have better dreams, like more positive dreams, but is there a way in each to make yourself have more lucid dreams? I know that's probably a general question, but I kind of miss that I'm not having those lucid dreams. Is that weird?
Oh no, I think you should strive for more of them.
Yeah, how do you do that? What's a way of striving for more lucid? I mean, how do you increase that, or is it just luck? Like what
No,
causes us?
it's not luck. It's not luck at all. You work at it. And a lot of things, there are so many different ways out there to do it. Our friend Kristen Lang, friend of the show, and my friend is taking, oh, geez, she's going to tell me somewhere. Uh, Ian, there's this cool, oh Lord, I wish I had this information up. I'll get it to you, Alex. I'll get
Yeah,
it to you because
that's
she's
cool.
loving it. And if she's out in the chat, Kristen, please put in what you're doing right now with the lucid dream training. And it's
Oh wow! So she's a lucid dream trainer. Hey, Niche, what have you thought about the idea that when you sleep and you're in REM sleep, that's your soul going somewhere else and having a different experience?
Oh, I like that you're turning this on me. I do. Okay, so I'm a believer in the idea of the soul and the spirit personally. And I am also, my table's big and there are a lot of things on the table. So for me to kick something off, a theory off, it has to literally be dust. And I've tried and it's not working. So that theory I pull up to, Alex, I have had dreams where I lived a whole lifetime in a dream, and I
And
woke up and I
it
was sad and I was mourning.
Oh, I've had dreams where I'm so sad afterwards. Real. I was like, oh, I wish I was real, where I was famous, or not even famous, where I was just successful. I don't remember ever having a dream actually where I was actually famous, but I remember having dreams like just having a great life. You're right, but I don't think I lived the whole life. So when you have a dream that you live a whole life, is it an hour long? Is it your 8 hour nighttime dream?
In
What
the
manifests that
Well,
dream?
that's the idea. The construct of time is very strange in reality, let alone when we get down into the idea of the other points of consciousness which we swim within. And that would be, say, one realm is the dream realm or the psyche, the unconscious realm. And it time is way different in there, you know that. So yes, I can have a dream of a whole lifetime in that amount of space. I can also get up and go to the bathroom and come back and usually enter back into a dream. It doesn't always happen, but I'm one of those people that can do that.
I can do that too sometimes, not all the time, but I can kind of go tinkle in the middle of the night, and if the dream is really good, I can get back into it. I love when I can do that. That's the best ever.
You know what? You have a higher chance of getting lucid by doing that. And one of the tricks to lucidity is actually getting up for 15 minutes or so and not going to the computer, staying away from screens, and then going back to bed. And you say you nap. Naps are where I have the best lucid dreams are
Yeah.
naps.
Well, they say it's different sleep schedules for everybody, but what is the proper amount of sleep that a human being needs? Is it 8 hours, 10 hours? I know where this isn't a medical show, and I know this is about dreams, but I just wonder how much that affects your dreams. Like with lack of sleep, you have high cortisol. Like how much how much sleep do you need for optimum dreams?
I don't have, again, I don't have a clear answer for that because I'm a case by case person. And for
Yeah.
me, there have been times in my life where I needed a lot of sleep. And then there have been times when I didn't need very much. And so it changes. I know that we know that the standard answers, if we can believe anything we're told, there's that breakdown, body healing amount of time. And I think that needs at least 6 hours for your body to, your insulin, everything to reset. This is why, like, say, fasting is good for you because
Okay,
your systems are down,
I was
right?
just about to say this. The last time I remember having such a lucid dream, it was I did the longest fast. I mean, I guess it was a 5 day, the longest fast I've ever did. And my dreams were so lucid that the show was playing. It was the Johnny Versace killer. Remember that guy that ran away to Miami? And this was the mini series that it was on like Netflix or something.
Yeah, I
And
didn't watch it, but I remember.
well, but that's what I'm saying. I don't. I mean, I remember having it on, and in my dream, I was basically in the show. It was the most lucid dreams I've ever had. It's funny you say that fasting, and that was during a fast. I was just about to say that when I was fasting, I had the, and I would get up. I remember getting up and peeing a lot and going back to sleep and getting back in the dream. And in the dream, I was like in Miami, and I wasn't that person, but like whatever was going on, the sounds of the show and stuff were incorporated in my dreams. And I was heavily fasting on ketosis, in ketosis, running on ketones,
Yeah.
no doubt.
Yeah. Oh, this brings up another question. So, how, when you're in your dreams, how are you experiencing them? Are you omniscient? Are you behind the eyes? What point of reference do you
Behind the
have?
eyes, behind the eyes. Yeah.
Yeah. And then as a Second Life player, that's one of the things that's great about Second Life is you have those options as well. And I always play Second Life from behind the eyes.
Yeah.
Do
Well, that's
you?
how I mean, I only played Second Life for a little bit, but I think I didn't play Second Life behind the eyes. I played the Second Life from like third, looking at the whole body.
The omniscient, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, the only reason I bring in Second Life, because I played for a year and it was addicting.
Yeah, I played for like a month. It was addicting. I played for it in college, but you played for a year, so you really got into it.
Oh my God, I was super into it. But you know why I was into it? Because of the analogy of how psychologically rich and deep it was that played into points of consciousness, other realms of being, and how it was actually affecting my dreams in real life.
And it was the first thing to do that. It was so new. Everybody wanted to see what it was like.
It really affected my dreams, though. Like, I can't tell you. So there's a lot of woo I could go into, but just on the dream level, it permeated into this world and into my dreams. So I started to dream I was the characters I had created in Second Life. With my first one looked like me. It's ironic, I made her look like me, and she still has a Facebook page, which is funny because I'm not on Facebook, but Nishka sure is, and I have no access to it, but she's out there. And so I started to play with different characters then, and I would dream from their perspective, and I started to really see this crazy, really enriching way in which I was becoming more lucid in my day life. And when I would go into Second Life, it felt almost like I was entering a dream in the way I would sleep. And so I actually kept a journal the whole time. I was actually doing it
Wow.
in a way where I was experimenting with points of consciousness, Alex.
Wow. Well, people say the dream journal is what you have to have the good dream. So was your journal more for a dream journal, or was it overall just a normal journal?
It was an observation in trying to understand my psyche within the collective conscious as overlaid on a digital platform and in a real sim, which was Second Life, because Second Life really mirrors this life. You have to have a job there. You're a pauper. You live on the, every time you log in, you're in that like room where people could be doing anything to your body and stuff. So, I stripped. I did all kinds of stuff there that was fun.
On Second Life, I never went to the strip. You could strip on Second Life. That's awesome. I didn't know
Honey,
that.
there's worlds within worlds within worlds. So I did everything, and there are rules in each world, and it's just like this. And I had to make money to not be a pauper on the street because they can you can get maimed in there, and if you spend money on your avatar, it's a big deal. And
And if you get maimed, would your avatar be all maimed? The arm would be cut off?
Right, and you have to replace your skin and all this stuff. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Those
Well, how would
stakes are
you make
high.
money other than being a pauper?
You
You can make
remember
money.
there are lindens in there. It's got a cryptocurrency. So I know people that make real money in Second Life.
Still to this day?
Yes, that they pull out of Second Life and support themselves with. So they
Yeah,
have,
I know
like,
people would make
shops,
art within it. Yeah, they'd make art and sell the art within Second Life.
clothing
Yeah,
and skin and hair and everything and tricking and all the stuff that you do in real life. And so I was interested in how that dynamic played out as far as points of consciousness. It really affected me, and it was a fruitful exercise that soon became addictive. And that was part of my analysis in the end, was how addictive it was, how easy it felt like one could escape their aka real life, or air quotes,
Yeah.
and get into Second Life, and you'd still have the same, you still had to pay for all this stuff. You still had these same stakes, but then you had the freedom of being who you wanted. So if you wanted to be a troll, you could be a troll. I had an avatar that was a doll, and one of my favorite friends was a dog, and he would run around with me and stuff like that. So I had my normal Nishka character, and she was like, I mean, people are like, oh, she even looks like you. And it's just so funny that would, and this was in my analysis when I first set it up. Why would I could be anything I wanted, just like in a dream. I could be anything I wanted. And my first impulse was to go with artifice of myself, to make it a mirror image as close as possible to me in this life, in this perceived life. And I did that there. And then I moved from that to, I had a whole Creole character, and I had the doll, and I had
Did you say
just like
Creole
the
character?
I had a
That's
Creole
funny.
character,
That's funny.
and I had there's a Blade Runner sim in there. All mine in my bio I called Tyrell. I made sure they had this backstory of being
You were really into them.
replicants. Well,
Yeah,
what
but
I said,
Nishka, listen, the problem with Second Life though now, and I'm actually pro it, that they've developed a society of children now where their second life is more important than their first life.
well, this was part of my analysis, Alex. I mean, that's why this is all of what I was doing. I was analyzing how this was affecting my real life.
Yeah, did you
And
ever feel it was more important than your real life?
yes, I couldn't wait. So I was in school at the time here in Portland at PCNA, and I couldn't wait to get home to
Play Second
be.
Life.
Yeah, I thought about it, and then there was a point when I started
Well,
playing it at school on break.
yeah, well, you know where that's really bad is World of Warcraft for people. I have a friend who plays it, and now that's his life and that's cool. I mean, I guess I'm not gonna if anybody wants to freaking wear lipstick and a dress and I'm saying anybody wants to do anything, that's their right. But I can tell that he cares, I think, more about his World of Warcraft than anything else.
Well, and I wrote that in my analysis in the end. It was, I mean, I went in with this. I'm one of those curious people, and I'll find myself all over the place doing weird things. And that was just one of those things that I got involved in. And it was, and at the end of the day, for me, everything is about exploration of consciousness. So it may seem vacuous looking at it sometimes. Even when I was belly dancing and stuff, it's like, how can I belly dance and find my way into a state of ecstasis or ecstatic experience through the act of doing that movement? Or it just is all overlapping, and that was one of the things that felt more addictive to me than anything I've ever had that was addictive. Although, and I'm not, I went
You're telling me
into
that was the most addicted thing you probably ever were addicted to in
so
Second Life?
I'm
Wow.
prefacing this with I don't have an addictive personality. So
So it's not normal for you to get addicted. See, I
and
don't know if
that's
I've
what was surprising. And why was I addicted? Because it started to permeate realities for me. It started to be very Videodrome.
I can see that. I mean, I'm a person that does get addicted to stuff. I'm not really like drugs, but if I'm healthy, what I'm saying is I have a hyper focus issue. So, if I get into something, I like to hyper focus and then it can kind of take over my life. But Second Life, that was never, it never gave me enough pleasure. But it sounds like for you that you did get a lot of pleasure from it. And it actually sounds like it was beneficial and positive from my understanding of what you're saying.
It wasn't, because it was
wasn't.
taking over my real life. And my real life is fine, and there was and I wasn't trying to escape or anything. And that's what I was writing this down. That's what I found disturbing. And
it was just fun. They gamified where you can be anything, so they kind of trick you into wanting to live that artificial life, right?
But on that deeper level, that was at the point when I started to question the reality we consider this, and that this really started to look more like a sim. And I'd never really entertained that until Second Life.
Nishka, oh my gosh, I have to say this, Nish. Listen, I was a young kid. Used to always play this video game in Madden, and if you'd play franchise mode where you could like pick the players and coach, and it'd always be like simulate games, because you'd want to simulate the games, not have to play them, so you could go in your franchise years and years and years in advance. Like, instead of being like the 2021 team, you can be like the 2035 team if you simulate it. And so I didn't play many video games. I just remember that as a kid, like teaching me video games from that as a kid, now correlating with what I know now. It almost makes you think we're in a simulation so much more. I mean, the idea
Yeah.
of the reality that we're currently living being real blows my mind. I'm not saying we're in a simulation, but God, everything seems so weird. I think our timeline of events are wrong. I mean, the world is so upside down. It almost wouldn't blow my mind if somebody told me I was plugged into a computer somewhere and I couldn't control that huge physical body. And this is just what I felt, and this is just the life I was living.
Can you take that and move it into the idea of other points of consciousness where you are? And this is why the dream idea is very tangible, because everyone does it and we all experience it. So we have a collective point of reference for it. And in this point of reference, we have the idea of I'm not living this life I think is real, but I'm having real dream experiences, and I'm having them so real. I'm talking about normal people that are not doing OBEs and not very lucid, just a normal person that has dreams here and there. You can crack that nut by pulling up this narrative of dreaming. You are you, but you are not you, and yet that's your body. You're not in your body, but you're somewhere else. And so it's an easy inroad to get deeper into the psychological functioning. And once we get into that area, into the psyche, into the unconscious, into the darkness of self, then we can go anywhere from there.
I mean, yeah, but how do we get there? I mean, we're so
We get there
not.
because you do it anyway, Alex.
Yeah.
And so we already tell ourselves, see, we talk ourselves out of it like you do. You
Yeah.
talk yourself out of it.
I always talk myself. Why do I second guess? I always second guess a lot of stuff. I talk myself out of a lot of stuff, and that's why I think in these dreams, when I go back, I have the knowledge that I have now. That's what I would almost want more than anything when they give you that option. Like, would you rather want your current life with $10 million or all the knowledge you have now and you could start as a baby? I'd always want to go back and start over again with the knowledge I have. Forget the money. Because I
Yeah.
feel like I could make a lot more money and do, because I second guess stuff. If I had if I knew the grass was greener on that other side, I would know which decision to make. So
when
yeah.
you're dreaming, do you second guess too? Does that follow you into there? Are you reacting? How are you moving against narrative in your dream?
I feel like no, in the dream I go more with my gut, but I don't think there's enough of a, if I can actually put my finger on that, like if I'm second guessing myself in dreams, I don't think I'm hesitant in dreams. I think I'm actually pretty. Actually, I think I'm the opposite. I think in dreams I like know more what's going on than I really know what's going on. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course it does.
Yeah, like in a dream, I know where I'm at, but I really don't. Looking back, I had no idea where I'm at. But in the dream, I'm familiar. I'm not like second guessing. Like everything seems more natural usually in my dreams.
What gives you the idea that this is not real?
It's funny you say that because I've had so many dreams where I woke up and I was happy that it was a dream because the dream felt so real. So I feel like if I have the ability to dream where it is almost, not undetectable from a real life experience other than waking up.
What gives you the idea that this state of reality now
Is
is
real. Is how
real?
I'm not dreaming. It's funny because I always think about the same thing, the existential thought. It's like, well, when does your dream loop start? When you wake up in the morning, but how do I know this isn't a dream and I wake up and I'm a little baby? I mean, I don't know. I'd like to say I'm real because I'm pinching myself, I'm slapping myself, but no, I mean, because all of a sudden I wake up right now and that's a possibility. That blows my mind to think about, but yeah.
Well, and then it's the same idea with these points of consciousness, like these memories you have, the memory of the hair salon with your mama when you were little. How do you know that's even a real memory?
Yeah, I know. It might not be. I mean, wow. I could have just manifested that myself knowing what I went through as a kid or knowing what my mom's been through. I mean, you're 100% right. I mean, you can almost create these realities through false memories. I think that's definitely possible.
Well, and think about it right now with the tech we have, you can actually so this is not going into deep programs or anything. This is you can get on Photoshop. You can create some memories, fake memories with a baby, you, whatever. You can create
Yeah.
in video. You can make all kinds of weird video that's not you, but it's you.
Yeah, deep
And
fakes. There's all kinds of manipulation. Yeah.
all of that, and then insert that somehow into your world, say into your dream life, in a way, through repetition and frequency music, and then you can
Well, it's funny you say that, Niska.
take on those created memories that you yourself created and think they are real. This stuff's being done. Now, this is separate from programs when they were doing it to people. You
Well,
can do
but
this
let me
to
just say this one
yourself.
thing. They have technology where they can play music and you don't need headphones or anything. You can be far away from it and you can hear the music in your head.
Oh yeah, this is
Yeah.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
So why
yeah.
are we so sure? Why are we so certain that the rules of this reality, the theories of the rules of this reality stand as they are? Why are we so certain that this reality is what this reality is, the way we're told it is? Because look at how everyone's pushing against it, whether we're creating them as images from our own self collectively and creating all of this theater drama out there, this ritual theater, and it's all just happening in pods somewhere, or whether it is real. I mean, the idea of what is real, Alex?
Well, I mean, my only answer would be, I guess it's just the collective continuity of my life would, because but this continuity could be changed, through Mandela effect. Not that I 100% believe Mandela effect. I'm just saying there's ways for that to be manipulated. So I don't know how to tell you this is 100% real other than I pinch myself and I feel like the continuity that I wake up to the same cat responding to me to the same meow, but that could be fake too. So.
Well, when you think about like the movie Brainstorm, I don't know if you saw it. It's an 80s movie.
No, but it sounds familiar, so I feel like I might have seen clips from it. Brainstorm, is that where their heads blow up? What happened in Brainstorm?
Natalie Wood. It was a fantastic movie.
I need to watch it. I love movies.
Really, really, really ahead of its time and very, very good. But we'll just say right now, like the stuff that Elon Musk is doing.
Well, tell me what Brainstorm was about. I feel like that sounds so familiar. What was the plot real quick of it? Do you remember?
Jerry, come on board. Jerry's better at telling these things.
So Brainstorm was a movie from 84, 5, 6 in the 80s, and it was with Christopher Walken and Natalie Wood. And Christopher Walken was a neuroscience guy who developed a technology where you could record memories, experiences from other people, and then play them back on a headset.
So, like, you could play somebody else's memory?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So this would be like Instagram or something. So you could relive this moment.
You could relive the moment. And
yeah.
There was another movie later in '99 called Strange Days, which was kind of similar, but different plot. The point of Brainstorm was, though, that the government took over the project and took it away from this guy. And then it got out of hand, basically.
Yeah.
And
but that's the idea of the Brainstorm, is that they can make it so real you can't tell. You could relive the moment.
Yeah, I want to say it was an Adrian Lyne movie with effects by Douglas Trumbull, if I remember correctly. I'd have to look it up. It's a great movie. Everyone should check it out.
Didn't Natalie Wood die right after that?
She died during the filming of that movie.
So they finished it even with her dead?
Yes.
They were able to?
They cut scenes. They put in cut scenes. Do you know what kind of wood doesn't float?
Natalie Wood.
Natalie Wood. That's right.
Y'all are terrible.
Yeah.
But see, the thing is that you can hook up and have your nervous system hooked up, and your sensate system hooked up to your brain and your spinal stem, and do anything, feel it. A cut will hurt. You can, and we know that from placebo effect that
And sex
rem-
will feel good.
sex
In a
will feel
dream, yeah,
good,
yeah.
but you can die. So in Brainstorm, the heart attack thing is in there, and when the guy has a heart attack,
It
you
was
can,
Louise Fletcher.
yeah, and so the lady, yeah, and so you can. This is the power of the brain's amazing, and the power, and then beyond the power of the brain, though, the power of the mind that operates the brain is amazing, and so to limit us to the idea that you were born a poor black child in West Virginia.
Yeah. Is that from
Well,
The Jerk? What is that
yeah,
from?
yeah, it's
I
from The
love that.
Jerk.
I love that movie. That's one of my favorite movies with Steve
God,
Martin.
is that even socially
yeah.
appropriate anymore?
Well, it's not Steve Martin. Who's the? Yeah, it's Steve
It was
Martin.
Steve Martin. Yeah,
yeah,
that it was funny.
God, that was the
Uh,
best movie ever. I don't know why I second guess myself. It was Steve Martin, but who was the other big? I guess he was the main actress, but that movie was so awesome when he got rich and from the glasses that caused him to go cross-eyed. If you guys haven't seen the movie The Loser, that is one of the funniest movies ever.
it's
Jerk.
classic.
The Jerk. What I said,
Yeah.
The Loser, yeah, The Jerk.
It's classic, and hopefully, it's not offensive to people because it's not offensive. It's.
It was Bernadette.
Well, everybody.
Bernadette Peters was the lead.
I love.
That's Bernadette Peters. That's who. She was so
Yeah.
pretty. That's the girl I was thinking
Yep.
about. She was so hot in that movie.
Yep.
Bernadette Peters was so hot.
Bernadette was gorgeous. I mean, she
Oh,
probably
she's
still
like
is.
Probably still is. I don't
yeah.
think.
Oh
she's
yeah, but she
alive.
was so. She was like the prettiest in that movie. I remember. She was
Oh,
hot.
okay. Here we go.
No, she was just hot. Bernadette, yeah, she was.
I'm
hot.
agreeing with you.
Yeah.
Totally. I've always thought Bernadette was gorgeous.
Well, because I remember the movie, he was with like the nasty biker babe before that. I guess that's who took his virginity, and he was in the fair. I just watched it the clips of it the other day. It's so funny you bring up The Jerk. I don't know why I said The Loser. I know the movie so well, and I know it's Steve Martin, but I don't know why I even second guess myself. But yeah, so in the movie, at one point, he's working for the carnival, and the girl that's the stunt motorcycle driver takes her to a trailer and takes his virginity, and he sends a letter to his parents talking about how much he loves it and how he was gonna, keep going for a ride. I don't know. You have to see the scene. It's so funny. That movie.
It's hilarious. Yeah.
But then you see Bernadette Peters as the next one goes out with, and she's like a 10. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, but this is what I'm saying. These stories that we tell ourselves have power. Everything we think has a lot of power. And then the way we generate stories around the thoughts have more power. And we just keep building it and building it until what? This is
Well,
what
let me ask you this. So I
Okay.
had this guy on my show. His name's Jeff Doherty, and I'm anti-Scientology. I lived in LA, and I know people that got really affected by Scientology. But these people in Scientology, he's actually like a what they call a squirrel Scientologist. He's not affiliated with the. This is a guy I had on my show, and I knew this. I knew he was a Scientology. Him and I came on to have a debate about it, but I was nice to him because he's nice. But they believe through Dianetics and be able to, through processing and getting rid of, trauma, that they can actually use their mind to bend stuff to, that they can
Yeah.
actually have superpowers. Do you believe a human being can tap into that? Because they say yogis 2,000 years ago were able to like breathe underwater for an hour or, bend, some incredible way or, that there were ways to tap into our body and we could basically be superhumans. Do you think that's possible?
100%. Yes.
You do? Well,
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to think it is. I just don't know the proof for it. Yeah, I'd like to think that it is.
But people don't even have enough self-control to read a book. I mean, you got to understand, to get to that point of knowing and of being, there's a lot of work.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work, and nobody's doing the work. Everything's flash, everything's fast.
All sizzle, no steak.
No one understands stillness right now, getting still and being quiet and being with yourself and meditation and all this stuff and fasting and all these ways that get you to that point. You have to do the work. It's the bottom line. These things aren't going to just fall into place. You're not just going to wake up one day and have that kind of mastery. It's work. And most people don't want that. And that's why the allopathic system is like weed. And, I mean, we could break this down socially and economically and all this. So, absolutely. And I have seen remarkable things in my life. I have been witness to remarkable things, and I have also been part of remarkable things. So it's like they say, it only takes one time. That's what I'm saying with
Yeah.
the lucid dreams. The first one is the cracking, right? It's the
hmm
cracking of the egg. You're like, oh my God, I'm dreaming, but I'm awake. And that is all of a sudden it opens a neural pathway, and you say to yourself, this is possible now. Then you can do it again and again, and you can keep pushing into it, and you can play with it and figure out what works and what doesn't work. Same thing with any other kind of practice.
No, you get better at it. I mean, yeah, I mean that makes total sense. But
By
as you said,
experimenting with it, though, also with self, this is all ultimately work on yourself.
it's just how am I going to get myself into those lucid dreams? But you talked about a thing, fasting. Why is fasting so spiritual? I mean, every single major religion has fasting in their doctrine somewhere at some point, whether it's Judaism, Muslim. There's always some sort of Christianity. There's always some sort of fasting. Why is fasting so spiritual in your opinion?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know that it needs to be spiritual. I don't know that it needs to be anything other than allowing the
But when you fast, you
systems.
don't feel spiritual. You don't feel. I feel very spiritual when I
Alex,
withhold
I
food.
always feel spiritual.
That's
I
true.
never
That's true.
have a moment when I don't feel spiritual.
I like that.
And and so, but what fasting does for me, and I know this because I know how the body works, is it allows my systems to be calm. There's nothing going in, so there's no insulin spiking. The digestion gets to, your colon and
Yeah.
everything gets to calm down and reset. That's a very big deal. And in that process, a lot happens biochemically that is helping. And this goes into the benefits of assisting with new cell growth and all that. And when we talk about like sleep this is why we need sleep too. There's all the cycles, Alex. You got to have the death cycle like you have the life cycle. And I want to
Yeah.
spin into that. What do you think death is? What is death to you? And how do you perceive it at this moment?
Well, it's funny you say that because on my show, I get all these people always talking about revelation. So I feel like, because I'm not super stressed, but I can't stop thinking about dying. And it's really been on my mind a lot lately. And in my mind, I wanted, like, I used to kind of think, there's a heaven and a hell, but now I almost don't know if there is an eternal hell. And I know that you and I are spiritual beings. Like, you're a body that has a soul. You're not a soul that I mean, you're a soul that happens to have a body. You're not a body that happens to have a soul. You're not a thumb that happens to have a soul. You're a soul that happens to have a thumb. So this soul goes somewhere, but where it goes, I don't know. I'm starting to more and more. I'm starting to think that it goes to some sort of portal through the sun, moon, and stars, and that the sun and stars above us are somehow past spirits.
Could you elaborate on that? This is
So I
very
feel like when I
intriguing.
I feel like when I die that my soul will rise up into the ether and either go maybe to the moon or to the sun, and that's what they think is heaven or hell. But going there, it's not heaven or hell. It's just A or B, and maybe it is a little bit of heaven and hell, but there is no eternal hell. I don't believe in that anymore.
Yeah, I definitely don't.
Yeah. But I believe
I
there is another level. There's no way. And in my mind, I used to kind of think, oh, when you die, it's just all over. But I find that hard to believe. And then there's people that, when you were born, that maybe you lived a past life. I don't necessarily think that. I just think that there's a reason we were made. Maybe our soul and our spirit is used by God for some other creation. I don't know. But I feel like something else happens that I don't think all this could just be a cosmic accident. I find that I don't accept that anymore.
Jerry, you look like you were
I
going to
was
say
just going to say
something.
that you're not the only person who thinks that stars are spirits.
Yeah.
I'm very, very interested in that. And so, what do either one of you have to say about that?
The first
For
time I heard,
me,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
oh, I mean, for me, I just feel like the electromagnetic force from the sun, moon, and stars gives us life, right? Like literally it grows plants. Dirt and sun will create a freaking watermelon. I mean, there's not any more creation than that. So I feel like our soul, the creative, it goes back, it gets recycled into that somehow. So it's a two-way street. The sun, comes this way and we go that way. And I know that sounds weird, but I feel like up and down are the only non-relative direction. Like east and west is relative from where you're going, but up and down is not. I believe our souls actually do go up into the sun, moon, and stars. And I feel like there's levels to this. And maybe there is possibilities for your soul to go down, but the majority of ours goes up to the sun, moon, and stars.
Jerry, what about stars as spirits?
I was just going to say the first time I ever heard anyone say that was Jake Stratton Kent, and I really respect that guy. So it was a interesting comment from him.
Who is he? I don't know. Why don't I know the guy?
Famous magician.
And I love magicians. I used to be a huge Penn and Teller fan, but
not that kind of magic.
Well, I'm just saying I like all kind of magic, but what kind of magic did he do?
Goetic, I think.
He did like the spirit magic,
clairvoyant magic. Yeah.
No, like ritual magic. He's a ritual
like
magic.
High ceremonial stuff.
Yeah, it was.
That's actually
soup episode.
Harry Houdini spent the last years of his life trying to debunk those type of magicians. Yeah,
but he wasn't a magician. He was an illusionist.
Yeah.
When I'm talking about magic magicians, we're talking about people who do like ritual magic, ceremonial magic, things like the Illuminati.
He wasn't on the Vegas Strip. Yeah,
no,
he wasn't on the Vegas Strip. Yeah, I got it.
Well,
yeah.
like the Pope does, and the Catholic Church.
I'll find a link to that and put it in chat.
So that's interesting. And do you have a fear of it, Alex? Death?
Because I've been thinking about it a lot lately. Yes. Sadly, I worry about my dad dying all the time and how I'm going to react. I think about that all the time.
Yeah, of course. You love him.
Well, it's not even that. It's not even that. It sadly is. I see a lot of like celebrities and pro athletes, and you can say it's like Illuminati or something. But there's just so many people that I've seen in my life when they lose their parent that they love the most. Like you can use Kanye West's example. Their lives go off the rails. And for me, I just don't want to be a victim of that. And I worry about that because I say, oh, I can handle it now. But in that situation, I know that I'm almost not going to be able to handle it because I'm so close with my parents. So I worry about that all the time. And I start thinking about it. I'm like, Alex, why am I worrying about something that's inevitable that I shouldn't worry about? And I get mad, but it's like, it's a thing that's on my mind every single day. I think about my parents dying.
Yeah. I did with my mama for every day, always. I felt like by the time she finally did die, she
you were
was
at peace with it. You're at peace with it, weren't you?
Well, she died a million times, right? Because it's always happening in a weird way. But I did have a calm with it, and here's what I have to say about it, though. The relationship never ended. It just continues to develop, and it came through dreams at that point. And it started to change the dreams, and I just started to accept that the void in my life physically was insurmountable for a long time. I had a very hard time because we would talk on the phone every day, and we were very, very close. And so the physical void in my life was really atrocious. It was hard, and it was harder than I physically knew. I thought I was handling it well, but then my body didn't handle it well. And so I had, that's when I got my thyroid problem. And, it was just like, you think you're dealing with something, and then your body lets you know you're actually not. So it took a long time.
Yeah, I mean, and when you're shattered like that, your health is actually one of the main things that gets affected from it. It's because your body, your immune system almost shuts down from sadness.
Yeah, it was, but I'd been around a lot of death in my life and a lot of sorrows and hardships and all this. So I was already really seasoned, but it was.
You can't be seasoned for that. No way.
Well, I don't know. It's just different. I mean, like I said, I'd been around a lot of death, but it was just different. It was a different kind of death, and that was part of it. And then the people around me weren't able to. It's like you couldn't talk about it, and I wasn't a mess. I was not a mess. I was not like in a pile crying. I was getting on, And so I'm always getting on. She taught me that. So I was functioning and I was
Yeah,
fine.
that's it. He tells me too. That's one thing that gives me a little hope. Is like my dad wouldn't want me to be when he would die. He's told me, don't ruin your life, don't make a bunch of mistakes. I mean, we've had this talk, but I just bought my mom life insurance. Literally, we just got approved for it, where I just bought a 20-year policy. And just that is such a morbid thing to talk about with your mom. She's got to be interviewed with State Farm and all this
Yeah.
stuff. And she's the one that brought up the idea to do it. I didn't bring it up. She's like, Alex, you should do this, while I'm still, semi young, where I can get approved for a 20-year deal. And so we did it. But it's just a weird thing to talk with your mom like, oh, I'm buying an insurance policy because you're going to die. Theoretically. I mean, I don't want her to die within 20 years, but in case you do, which is a possibility, it's just a weird freaking conversation. And I hate that. I hate thinking about dying. But for me, I also like to think like, I don't believe in the eternal hell. So for me, when I die, it's just, I don't have any control over it at that point. So I shouldn't stress out worrying about it, but it's easier said than done.
Well, we don't die. I mean, that's the thing. We're energetic beings. We don't die. And I know there are hardcore atheists out there that do believe that. And I've been close to that point. I was never quite there. But I have had too many experiences. I have too much there've been way too many coinkydinks and all that for me, and then out of body travel and all this stuff, and then uh having had two very I didn't die, but you could call them near death experiences, but I didn't physically die, but I was out. Blood transfusion out and all that. um and they reshaped my life and my idea of what can happen, what's possible. And that's another aspect to this, is that placebo effect. I don't think we die. And my mind can tell my brain that. My brain can push that into my heart and my gut and into the fiber of my being. And then I can manifest this as a thought form that becomes an energetic field in the ether. And therefore, I can create the idea that I don't die. And so it gets tricky. And this is where all this stuff with dreams and memory and sim and second life and inner space and outer space and all that starts to kind of meld. And when it melds, to me, it all looks like fractals. It all looks like mirroring. And that's where, if you're grounded, you can push into the idea through meditation. And through meditation and then body manipulation, what I mean by that is fasting and doing certain things to augment the way your body is functioning. You can find yourself at different places as far as the idea of reality goes.
Well, what about reincarnation? So it sounds like you might be on the reincarnation
Well,
idea.
that's looping, right? Isn't reincarnation looping?
Yeah, I would consider it looping.
I mean, I don't know.
It's possible. Sometimes I kill a bug. I'm like, I wonder if that's me, if that's my friend reincarnated. Why is this bug trying to get on my shoulder? I mean, I'm just kidding, but I like to think creatively sometimes.
It's the idea that there's something. So here's some solid. In this life, I have very close affinities to certain things. So I'm very tied into India. I'm very tied into ancient China, and I'm very tied into certain time periods, period, point blank, just certain. And if you're in my spaces, you can pull all that out, because these are the baubles I have.
So you feel like
me.
you've been to those places?
I feel like I know and when I say India, I don't mean modern India, I don't mean modern China. I feel like I'm Indian sometimes.
That's how I feel like about New York. Sorry to cut you off on here. I feel like I'm from New York. I'm telling you, every time I go to New York City, I feel like I've spent a lifetime there. I don't know what the heck it is. And I know you could say, oh, it's just that, but it's deeper than it being a fast city, because I've been there so many times. Like when I go there and I have this, I just feel like I've been there my whole life. Every time I go there, it's such a weird feeling. But so yours is India and old China is what you feel like?
Well, no, a lot more, but those are deeply ingrained since I was little. But see, this idea of you in New York, this is the stuff you push into. So it's like it's why wouldn't you have residual effects if, say, your last life you were in New York, or in any other life that when New York was still in existence? Or you could put this at a slant. You could spread the card deck out and call it a parallel dimension as well, where your point of consciousness is shifting over to a life you're living simultaneously. I mean, the idea of reincarnation doesn't have to be linear, right?
We could be jumping from paradox to paradox, I guess. Or not
Well,
paradox, from reality to reality.
Does it have to be linear is all I'm saying. Does it have to, the idea of reincarnation for me does not have to be linear. And I know that's not orthodox, but I don't care with these ideas.
Well, that makes sense. The melding of realities is kind of the basis of the Mandela effect. Are you familiar with the Mandela effect?
Alex, of course I am.
Yeah, I know. But so I don't like to say the Mandela effect is, what do you think about the Mandela effect before I say
Well,
what I think?
first of all, Starfire Tour started that with her. She called it time slips. And then it got, it turned into the Mandela effect, and that's a whole different side story. But
Time slips have been around for years.
Yeah, I mean, and it sounds.
But Starfire Tour has been talking about time slips for over a decade.
Sure.
Like she's the first person I heard talk about them.
Some are so weird. Like Chick-fil-A is spelled CIHCK, and I remember as a kid writing it in my journal with CHIC. Like that was why it was so cool. It was spelled incorrectly. Like I remember as a kid drawing that in my notebook because the chicken sandwiches were so good. Like, oh, I remember Chick-fil-A not being spelled like it currently is. So for me, God, it makes me want to believe the Mandela effect so badly.
Well, there's another. Jerry, what you got?
I was just going to say that it's the nature of it makes it impossible to prove. Because if it's true and like timelines are merging or whatever, nobody can remember the way it wasn't, So it's like trying to prove a negative. It's an impossible thing to prove that it's real.
I see that. I see that's it's like a paradox. I can prove it if that's but see what would create it, that there's other current realities going on with another Alex somewhere, and then I can meld it, that our brains can, like there's another Alex, there's another Jerry, and there's another Nish like sitting somewhere.
Look how limited our brains are, and not our brains, but our existence is limited to this reality, right? Everything that our eyes, ears, nose pick up are really tuned to hear. So, if the way I look at it is like there's a wide band of frequencies, and like a radio, we are tuned into one station and can't change it. But if we could just change that dial, we'd be in the next reality.
I've heard that same thing. Yeah, that's like there's other aliens are operating on a frequency. Not aliens or whatever being that we can't pick up. We're a radio and we can't pick up that signal. But if we if we could pick up these signals, then we'd be living in a totally different reality.
Correct.
I agree. I think that is possible. And you were saying, the superpowers, they say we only use 90% of our brain. And if that's true, I don't know who said
90?
that. I mean,
they say 10.
I mean 10. You know what I meant. I said it backwards. I only use you know what I meant. Thank you for correcting me, but that's what I meant. We only use a very limited amount of our brain capacity. So you imagine, Nishka, when you're saying,
that's obvious, Alex, when you look around.
Oh, it's 100% obvious, but I wonder if you could tap in there, if we could get to 60 or 70%, does that give you that clairvoyance? Does that give you the ability to almost have superpowers?
So I would say to that, if you watch the movie, there's a movie, I'll try and remember what it was, with Scarlett Johansson and
Lucy.
Lucy, yeah. If you watch that movie, what I got out of that movie was when you get your brain capacity up that high, you can think and work out all the probabilities of what's going to happen and make you appear to be clairvoyant.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it's probably a burden to actually, if you really could tap into your brain that much. We probably put it on cruise control on purpose because maybe we want less anxiety or something.
Well, I think you put most of it to work in the background for you, and you wouldn't pay attention to it if you had that much capacity going on, But I don't know.
Well, I know we're just shooting.
I'm definitely one that does not think it's not junk DNA, and I think it's spliced with. I think I'm one that thinks our DNA is more than what we think, and that we're created, we're manipulated.
Well, yeah, I've heard like the double helix isn't even the real model of our DNA or something. Like it looks different. I'm not sure, but
Dude, is DNA even real?
yeah, that's what I'm
Jerry.
saying. I think that's the same thing. I've been on that. What did the fuck? I mean, I don't know. It's like gravity. We can measure it. We can, that's about it. We can measure it. We can't recreate it. I mean, it just sucks.
I got questions when you're ready.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Let's do it.
Did you ever have?
Alex is
Were
gonna
you
be
ever?
getting good
If I'm
ones.
right, I got it. Were you ever a woman in any of your dreams?
I wasn't, and I remember, and I would say this, but I remember a buddy telling me that he's had a couple gay dreams before, and he asked me, I've never had a dream where I cross dress that I remember or had a gay interaction.
I had one gay dream. It was with my brother, and
dear.
his underpants were full of shit. It was so disgusting.
Ew.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, my friend said he had a sex dream with me in it, and I was like, "What?" And it was a big deal. But yeah, I haven't had that. I mean, not that I remember. I may have had that dream. I just don't remember having.
All right.
Yeah, but the poopy pants dream wins.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, that's nasty. That's a nightmare.
So, what is the worst monster in your nightmares?
I don't know. I mean, the worst monsters like the ones that I can't see. I think like the Wizard of Oz type monster, the person behind the curtain. So, nothing. No 10-foot tall roach or scary.
Like you were
monster.
saying, where the can was there and then it's not there. Yeah.
Since we've had so many dreams in common, did you ever have the one? I used to have this a lot too when I was younger, where you're in a pool and there's a dark mass under the water that you can't see and it's coming towards you.
Now that you've had pool ones, I've had a lot of. I don't think I've had one with like a shark or anything, but I've had drowning ones. Yeah, but the dark mass. No, I don't think I've had one where I've been. But I've been stuff where I've like I don't know if a dark mass, but like almost like a quicksand type dreams. Even though quicksand I don't think it's real, but now that you say the water ones, I'm thinking pool. I've definitely had a lot of water dreams. Wow, it's funny how you say that, and all of a sudden my brain lights up.
Well,
Did you have anywhere you were sitting at the bottom of a pool?
I feel like I have, and I know I've had dreams where I drowned in a pool, where I've been in an ocean, or been on a boat that sunk or something. I've had a lot of water dreams now that I think about it.
That's all I got.
That was it, Jer? I'm surprised. I would think
the
of
other
all
one
people,
wasn't really worthy of asking, so.
I'm sure you got inappropriate stuff.
Someone wanted to know if you wear a tinfoil hat or maybe aluminum foil hat.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Tell them I'm conspiracy crazy. I'm gonna tell them I'm a nut. Yeah, I'm a nut. I currently believe, guys, the reality that we're living in is based on lies, and the reason why they're lying to us is to hide our significance because they don't want us to know that we are important. They want us to literally be on antidepressants. They want us to hate ourselves, and they want to keep us in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The top need is self-actualization, and that's like basically if you died and you can come back as anybody, you say yourself. That need is really hard to read, but the first two needs are, safety. And that's basically all the government wants to do is they want to provide you safety without providing you any chance of actually having any inner happiness. So I know I sound like a tinfoil hat, but I'm telling you guys, the government and the people that control us do not want you and me to be happy. So you can call me a conspiracy theory all I want, but my job is
none of that is conspiracy. That's all real. Sorry.
I know. No, I love it.
Sorry, it's real.
Yeah, I mean, they just don't want us to be happy because they don't want us to really know what is going on. And when you look at events like, for me, the moon landing, that's a big one. It's just, that's not what they tell us. And what they tell us about the sun, moon, and stars is not the same. So, yes.
Now, that falls into conspiracy.
Yeah, of course.
They both do.
Yeah. Oh, I'm a conspiracy nut. My show's called Conspiracy Castle. Fuck it, I got tinfoil thong on right now. I got a tinfoil underwear. Forget the hat. I got a thong made of tinfoil.
Now we're talking.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been a great show. You want to plug your channel? I got links in the description, so you don't have to go over it.
Guys, please, tinfoil hat all the way. If you guys want to come and talk about, basically, we would like to have fun. I want to have a comedic aspect in life, guys, because we're so stressed out. We're in such a rat race. We need to laugh. We need to joke around. So if you guys want to come to a place that's not going to be super serious or we're going to joke around, yes, I'm a little goofy. Yes, I can be a little annoying at first. But if you give me a chance, some of you guys give me a chance, come watch a 2-hour. I stream live almost every night. Tonight, I'm just taking off because my birthday's tomorrow. But come give me a chance. I think you'll like it if you guys like this conversation. And Jared, Nishka, I really appreciate you guys having me on. I really enjoy talking.
Hey, we enjoy talking to you too. You're awesome.
We love you, Alex. I
Well,
do.
it's all love. It's all
If you need
reciprocal.
some new, you know where to get it.
I might need some. I might be trading that in sooner than later. So you be careful. 'Cause when I trade that IOU in, you better drop trowel. That's what I'm saying.
No, wait, no trout. That's titty. Oh Jesus, this
You're
is
gonna
we've
drop it.
gone down.
Yeah, you're
See,
gonna
we
drop
like
it
to
all.
have
Not
fun.
we. Well, not we. You.
No,
That's
you
the
too,
point.
Jerry. You're dropping something too. You're
That's the
gonna drop it like it's
point.
hot. We're all inclusive here.
No, we do have to have comedy, and we have to have humor, and we need to be able to laugh and relax and laugh at ourselves. And Alex, that's one of the things I appreciate about you. I really, really like it, and I like the ability to be able to play on this level and just know that we're funning with each other. We've lost this in society in general, so thank you.
You're 100% on. We've lost the ability to laugh when you walk through the grocery store and you can't have Aunt Jemima pancake syrup because because we're so sensitive. So just getting to talk with you guys and getting to say whatever it comes to my mind is freedom, in my opinion. So it's such a pleasure talking to you guys that are, open-minded, free thinkers.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was great having you once again. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you, Nish. Everyone, have
Thank
a
you,
great night.
Jerry.
Next week, we have a surprise guest to be announced.
Ooh.
I'm not sure who it is yet.
That's a surprise to
Real
us.
surprise. Yeah, that's a surprise. It's a surprise to you.
So next week's a new moon, and I invited Thomas Sheridan on. And I just waiting to hear, but he already said it was okay. I just waiting to hear on confirmation. So
Oh, we love Sheridan.
we'll be talking about, I wanted to talk about internet demons with him. So that should be pretty interesting.
Yes. Oh,
Wow.
Jerry, that's gonna be good.
Wow,
All right,
digital internet demons.
Digital
I like
internet
it.
demons,
Yeah,
that's
I
right.
like
We
it.
call that double D, baby.
Double D.
Double
Nice.
D.
It's a double dose
Keep on
of-
talking double dose.
Double dose of his pimping. And on that note, everyone have a great night. We'll see you next week.
Peace. I'll talk
Bye-bye.
to y'all soon. Bye.
All right, dude. Bye.
Bye.